Hey, good Saturday morning to you. Jackson, West Tennessee, welcome in. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here. Caddy Sports Club, as I am just about every Saturday. And, hey, we can be in your neck of the woods. Just give us a call at 731-298-0099. We'll take the show on the road anytime, any place, well, any Saturday, just about any place. And we've got a great show lined up this morning for you as a listener. And make sure that you are liking and following our page here. That's Talking Sports West Tennessee 103.5 WDXI, as well as the Hub City Sports Network, our sister station. You can follow us there on our YouTube, where we're live this morning. And then always make sure you're checking out all the stories and more from our FSR, Fox Sports Radio Jackson.com page. And we are always excited to be on the air with you each and every Saturday morning. We're recapping sports here this morning. We got some big wins, some big losses last night, also in the football world, and some teams that were projected to make the playoffs now will be in jeopardy of sitting home, not this coming Friday night, but the following Friday night, as some big losses for some teams, and they're going to need a win and some help from other teams within their region. And so we'll see how that plays out, as we've got some huge games, and most of those games have been moved up to Thursday night next week. And so some of the biggest games will be Martin Westview versus Covington, USJ versus JCS, Peabody, who was one of those teams that lost last night to Huntington, also will be playing Milan. So some big games this coming week. If you're in West Tennessee, there will be no shortage of talented football action next Thursday and potentially Friday evening. And so we're excited about that. Hey, I do want to make mention several times throughout the show. I've talked about this here, and we had them on air just a couple weeks ago. Team USA from right here in Jackson, Tennessee, in aerial sports. If you're not familiar with aerial sports, look up Aero Athletics, and you can check out all about aerial sports, the hoop and the silks and the trapeze that goes on there. And we have Team USA. Yes, folks, the real Team USA. They were here in studio just a couple weeks ago. They traveled to Argentina this week. 5 young ladies from our region, from our area, Jackson and West Tennessee. They traveled to these areas, and so far, we've had 2 of those 5 young ladies podium place in the World Games for Team USA, and also representing Jackson and West Tennessee. So 2 young ladies, Sophia Contreras and Kylie Cartwright, have placed on the podium. They bronze medalist in the World Games right here from Jackson, Tennessee, and, man, we can't be more excited about them. They'll hopefully be back in studio next week. We'll talk about their experience, and we'll have to see how the rest of the young ladies do in their competition as that ends sometime this afternoon, evening. I think it's a couple-hour time difference, so if you're checking them out, make sure you show them some love. What a huge accomplishment to be on Team USA to begin with, but then to go compete against all of these world teams and come back bronze medalist right here in Jackson. Folks, we got some great kids and great people in our community, and make sure that you show them some love. And Aero Athletics, Coach Amanda Nord and their crew over there at Aero, they are doing great things. Very excited about that. And the opportunity to talk with these young ladies and experience that experience with them as well. Hey, we got another champion in the house today. We're going to talk with her now, and so let's bring them on air here. Tori Robinson from TCA. Good morning. Coach Robinson with her dad-daughter combo, and I was talking to Coach Williams over there, and he said, well, it's, dad coaches her, and I said, well, okay, just give me some contact information. I want to get them on the show. I said, that's a great feat. And so from one champion talk to another. Congratulations! What a huge accomplishment for you as a senior at TCA. And so let's talk about that experience. I know last year that you came in second place as a junior. And so kind of let's start there because you got to that podium, you got that second place finish, and maybe some motivation at that point, right?
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about that and then what led you into the drive for this season, and then how did you get to the state tournament and then ultimately winning that state championship? So let's go back to last year for just a second.
Yeah, so I actually bogeyed the last hole 18 to like not go into a tiebreaker, and I lost by 1 stroke at state. And so coming back from that, I was like, I have one goal, and that was to win state this year. And yeah, it was just a good experience.
Yeah, so let's go back a little bit further. How long have you been playing golf?
Almost my whole life, but I didn't start like actually competing until I was like around 8 years old.
Okay. All right. So you've got a few years under your belt,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so that's when you're playing golf, that's a lot of golf balls hit. I hit a lot of golf balls because I don't hit them straight. And so unfortunately, I play what they call army golf, a little left, a little right. And so I tend to hit a few more around than what I should. When you came in second place last year, what was your score in that tournament?
I shot 1 under for both days.
Okay. So 1 under, which was, is that a 70 or 72 par? What was the course?
69. Yeah, it's a par 70.
Par 70 course, so 69. So breaking the 70 mark, that's really good. And we'll end the talk with what comes for you out of this and next year, because when you can, and I tell girls this all the time. I coached golf in high school for several years, and I tell girls this all the time. There's a lot of golf scholarships that are left on the table because there's just not a lot of girl golfers out there.
Right.
And then if you're pretty good or really good, you get sucked up pretty quick into these colleges. So, Coach, talk to us about her past. Talk to us about, because you're the coach, and you did you push her into playing? Not that you forced her to play golf, but how did she get into this, and then ultimately really kind of work herself into a competitive golfer that she goes to the state, comes up runner up last year, and now finishes out? How did that work out?
Well, if we go all the way back to when she was younger, my father ran a golf course for the last 20 years or so of his career and life, and he got all my kids into golf. I was already coaching golf, but he was the one who kind of put clubs in their hands, and he would take them out and love on them while they beat the ground up, and so he got them all into golf. And then when she was 6 or 7, she would ride around the cart with her brothers while they were playing golf, and she wanted to play, and they wouldn't let her play until she was willing to get out and practice a little bit. And so finally, when she was about 8, she started actually playing rounds of golf, and they got her out on the course, and she started playing some little tournaments. And I would tell you that she wasn't real super interested in it at the time. She enjoyed more active sports like basketball and softball and pretty much anything that she could put her hand to. I think her 6th grade year at Trinity, she played like 8 sports or something every season. Wow. Multiple sports going on. And then COVID hit, and golf was pretty much all we had to do, and so she was invested in it fully and started having some serious success. And so she jumped into golf a little bit more, and by the time she was in 8th grade, her fall season was just golf, and started focusing on that. But she's still a 3-sport athlete. She'll play basketball for Trinity this year, and unless she quits on her old man, she'll play tennis in the spring for Trinity. And so she's still a 3-sport athlete, but she just got to where she realized that she could be successful at it and have a lot of fun at it. And she started to have some relationships through the golf course. Other girls that were playing at the time, Claire Henson, who used to play for USJ, was at the course at the time, and so she got to see that and the fun that Claire was having with golf. And then she started competing in tournaments where the more elite players in the state were getting to play, and so she kept running into the same girls over and over and started developing those relationships, and so that really fed her fuel, I think, a lot as well.
I think it's really cool that we talk about sports all the time. There's that competition and the drive and the aggressiveness and things, but really the friendships that can come out of golf, right? Because this is a sport, unless you're, eventually disabled later in life, that you could play. I mean, there's some old guys out and ladies out there on the course that, and I'm fixing to be one of them, that's hacking up, and I can't wait to get to the red tees and extend my drive out just a little further. But it's one of those things that if you can stand and have some mobility, you can play potentially until it's your time to move on. And it's really cool to have that. So talk to us a little bit, Coach, and I want to ask this question because she's the champion, but at TCA, right, kind of walk us through just a little bit of, we've had some runners up because obviously Tori was that last year, but are there other players at TCA that have experienced this championship run before? If so, maybe who they are, but if not, or is this the first that TCA has experienced?
Well, this is our first individual champion in golf, either boy or girl, but we've had lots of medalists along the path and lots of golfers that would put themselves in a position to maybe compete for a championship the second day. Her older brother, Trace, finished third 2 years in a row at the state tournament and had an opportunity the second day. One of her female predecessors, Hannah Bratton, her senior year, she finished second at state and was just a stroke out of first, I think, if I remember correctly. But we've had lots of girl golfers over the years. I think with just my children alone, this was our 12th consecutive state tournament appearance on either the boys or the girls side. And most of those years, I think all but 3 of those years, we had either the boys team, the girls team, or both teams at the state tournament, depending on which year it was. I think 3 years, one of my son's years and 2 of Tori's years, she's been by herself. But the rest of the time, we've had a team there competing, and a couple of runner-ups for the guys and the girls team, and several third place and fourth place finishes, but have never quite gotten it done as a team yet. But we've had lots of fun trying.
So I guess the question that's unanswered here is, do you have any children left that are coming up through TCA? Because it sounds like that you're, filling the roles here for the golf team.
Right now, we don't have any other Robinsons coming up. We may be able to talk a niece into it at some point or another, but no, she's the last of the Robinson Trinity Golf dynasty, I'm afraid.
Okay, Tori, talk to us. You said last year you come in that second place. What did that fuel in you to do in the off season to say, okay, look, I can compete with the best in the state. There's a chance that I could come back next year and win this thing. How did you prepare? What did you do as a golfer? And also as a female, right? Because I have a foundation that supports female sports. I've coached girls sports all my life in some capacity: softball, basketball, golf, you name it, just about. I've coached it, and I appreciate the psyche of competitive girl sports. So, but it's different than boys, right? And it's way different. So how did you approach the off season mentally and physically to get ready to make this next push into golf season this year?
Yeah, I think one big thing is like mental aspect of the game. I knew I had to get my mental game better. Sorry. My mental game better than it was last year. And then just in the off season, I knew I had to get my wedges like dialed in. That's a big thing at state, especially I hit the ball pretty far for a girl, and it's kind of a shorter course. So like preparing, I had to just make sure every aspect of my game was as good as possible. And then just like tuning in, everything was a big thing. But definitely mental game. Last year I lost by 1 stroke, which I wasn't playing with the people that were in first and second coming into the second day, because I was an individual and they were with a team. So I had no idea where they were. So it was kind of like a heartbreaker, like losing by 1 when like I could have done that. I bogeyed 2 of the last 3 holes. So I knew this year just coming into those last few holes that I had to mentally prepare to be ready for like a tough situation or being under pressure.
And Is there an exercise for that? I mean, I think about golf for myself, and it's a mental breakdown for me just about every time I go out, but I still do it anyway. But when you're winning and you're successful, what mentally can you do to prepare yourself for that next shot? I mean, how do you block out the bogey? How do you block out those things and say, okay, all that's behind me because it was just seconds or minutes ago, and the next shot really matters.
Right. Yeah, I didn't learn this until probably the end of my junior year. But I think once you come off a bogey, you're like a little bit defeated, but you have to tell yourself, like, you play golf all year round, like, your shot is good, like, you can hit the ball straight, you can do all this stuff. So I just have to constantly tell myself, like, I'm good enough to get it back, like, make a birdie. My last round at state this year, I had my only bogey on hole 13, and it was a par 3. I 3-putted, and after that, I was like, well, I just have to get it back. Like, I just have to hit a good tee shot, hit a good second shot, and make a putt. And I did, and I think that is just a constant reminder, like, you just have to let it go. And there's not really, like, I think a secret, I don't know, thing to do that, but.
And I think it's different for everybody else.
Right.
For everybody, individual golfer. It's one of those things where, for me, I know that there's probably a greater chance that the next shot is shanked too. So I just go up and hit the ball, I was always focused on another sport. Football was my sport, and then basketball was my sport. So golf was one of those things that I wanted to play but never really had the chance to do, especially in football season for a guy, right? It's just one of those things I never focused on until I got really in adulthood, and then you've got all these bad habits and the bad back and the bad hips and this, the things that really just put you in a bad situation. But yeah, so when you got to the state this year, experiencing what you have in the past, what did you lean on? Was there one particular tournament or one particular set of experiences that you really drew back on that you had through the year? Was because that's a 2-day tournament, and most golf tournaments are 9 holes around, when I say tournaments, but most of your competition is like a 9-hole competition. It's a 1 day, right? So it's very short. But here, this is a 2-day, 18-hole tournament. So how did you kind of prepare for that? And I'm sure you're just playing a lot of golf, so maybe that's just the way it is. But, there is a mental difference in playing 9 holes and 18 holes, plus playing the extra day.
Yeah, we play a lot of 18-hole tournaments, like through school golf. Like almost every Monday we play an 18-hole tournament.
Okay.
So that definitely helps. I would say I play a lot of summer golf too. So I'm used to the 2-day. I actually prefer it. So I didn't really have to like mentally prepare for the 2 days. But I think one thing I came in to say this year, I was like, it's my last year. I'm just gonna go out there and have fun. I got to play with my best friend from Knoxville, CAK. And so I was like, it's our last year together. I might as well like go out there and have fun. And if I play good, that's great. But if not, it's okay. Like, I get to go play college golf, you know what I'm saying? And I think that truly helped me just focus on having fun and not the golf side. Because when I'm having fun, I'm going to be playing my best. Because I play fun. I play for fun every day. And I think that was the key this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're loose on the course, right, and having a relaxed time, you tend to maybe feel better and play a little bit better. For me, it's fun-y, not fun. It's funny, but it is what it is. And my buddies all laugh at me, and they have a good time laughing, and so it's a good time for everybody, right? Coach, walk us through a little bit of how do you prepare a golfer? Because, you guys, she talked about playing a lot of golf. Monday tournaments tend to be 18 holes. But young golfers coming up that may be listening to this, or some coaches out there that may be trying to get their player over the hump, how do you prepare that golfer at a young age to go out and switch from playing 9 holes to 18 and know, oh yeah, we're going to play 18 and then we're going to play 2 days of 18. All right, that's a huge difference in some of these small classic tournaments that these schools have around here, and they're just playing 9 holes of golf in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's I've seen a big progression in junior golf. Unfortunately, I think we've lost some numbers in the last couple years. In the girls' side, we had gotten a little bit bigger. Now we've lost a few. It seems like as far as like our team, we had 2 golfers the last 2 years, and so in 7-8 years ago, there was a year I had 7 girl golfers, and so we've kind of gone down a little bit. Not that the quality of golf's gone down. I wouldn't say that. Just the sheer numbers that are coming out. And I think a lot of that has to do with our busyness. You know, in years past, when I first started, the girls that were joining my teams had been playing with their dads on Saturdays and Sundays, and I think a lot of girls aren't getting to do that just because we're so busy in our culture today. But as far as the progression of getting them ready for 36-hole tournaments, it's pretty natural, but it's all in competition. They have to compete in golf as a junior, then continue to compete in golf as a middle schooler. And if they do, they're going to get successful in those 9-hole tournaments. And then all of a sudden, the leagues that run those are going to be like, hey, it's time for you to play 18. You know, you're doing really well. It may not be as casual as I just said it to you. They'll send you an email and say, hey, we're bumping you up a division. So there's some gradual progression to that. But a big thing that I've seen in school golf, this was my 24th season coaching at Trinity. And 24 years ago when I started, I only knew of 2 18-hole tournaments in West Tennessee during the year that the kids could play in. And this year I could have played in an 18-hole tournament every week during the school week, and several weeks could have played in multiple tournaments. In fact, one week, because one of our normal tournaments got moved this year due to a course conflict, one week we actually played in 2 tournaments in 1 week. But as far as preparing my high school golfers for what's ahead in the postseason, I think that's the way to do it. In fact, this year we only competed in 6 9-hole matches, and we competed in 7 18-hole matches. So we're trying to push and swing the other way. We've actually learned from other states. There are other states that only do 18-hole matches.
Okay.
Now, golf is more expensive there because they tend to take courses up during the weekends, and so they're paying a higher premium than we are, and that's a struggle for schools, you know, and it's a struggle for athletes. But ultimately, if we want to get our kids better, real golf takes place over multiple days. That's why on TV they play 4 days in a row.
Yeah, definitely. Tori, when you look at this season, is there anything that really sticks out for you? Is there a aha moment or a funny story about this season that really just makes you proud to? I mean, obviously winning, you're super proud of that, but sometimes individually we look at that, that's the culminating thing, and that's awesome. But it was this one thing that really was very special to me within the season. Is there something that sticks out to you?
Let me think. I would definitely say, like I tell everyone this, so it was actually at the state tournament, but the 18th hole, sorry, I'm like sick today. The 18th hole, I'm like coming in, and I don't look at scoreboards, that messes with me. So I had no idea like what was happening because the girl that was in second wasn't playing with me. She was individual. And so coming to the 18th tee, Blake Carnes, our assistant, which was like my coach for the 2 days, he comes up to me and he was like, you want to know something? And I was like, no, it's like fine. Like I'm just going to hit this shot, get out with a par because it's a par 3. And I was like, oh, wait, like do I need a birdie? And he was like, well, that would be good. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like I was like 3 under at that point. I was like, there is no way this girl has like caught up to me. So I like get to the tee box. I have like a 9-iron in my hand or something like that. And I'm like kind of nervous at this point. And I'm like, I need to like stick it close. And I ended up hitting like a really good shot to like 2 feet. And I look back and he's like grinning ear to ear. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So I make the birdie and I walk off to my brother and I'm like, did I win? Like, did I have to have that birdie? And he was like, Tori, you won by 12 shots. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, are you joking? And it happened to be, I just had to have that birdie to set the state record. But it was like a funny moment because I thought like I had to make a birdie to win, and I didn't. So
yeah. So was that the winning score? 12. You won the whole tournament by 12 strokes.
Yes, sir.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome to not only go out and win, but to dominate the field like that. I mean, that's very impressive, especially for somebody in high school to go out. Because I think in high school sometimes we find the cream of the crop are pretty pretty close to each other. When you get to college, you have some people that kind of stand out and start to separate, and that's what makes them professionals, right? I mean, you can look at that in all sports. But in high school, a lot of times, your basketball teams, your football teams are very evenly matched in a lot of ways. And maybe not so much in golf because it is such an individualized sport. But I think a lot of golfers, especially when you play with people that they tend to be somewhat close.
Right.
Talk to us about, because you're from a golfing family, how much did that play into where you are right now? And because you're going to go on to college and you've committed to?
College of Charleston in South Carolina.
Awesome. Charleston, South Carolina is a beautiful city. I've visited there several times. The military history and the historic side of Charleston is awesome.
It's beautiful.
And of course right there on the water,
yes.
So that's really cool. But so that's very awesome that you're going there. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But what about the brothers, right? So your dad talked about the brother playing golf and winning two third place finishes back to back. You kind of one-upped him here.
I did.
Is there that family rivalry?
Oh, yeah. We do everything competitive, even if it's like tossing a ball in the kitchen. Everything is competitive between, especially me and my middle brother, Trace, who plays at Union. And I would definitely say they probably played the biggest part in my golf journey. I would probably give half my talent to them, credit for them, because they're the really ones that pushed me to be the player I am today. I wouldn't have gone out to the course every day if it wasn't for them. And I think just having them out there and being supportive of me. I mean, my brother was there at the state tournament. They just every day were you have to play, practice if you want to get better. And I wasn't really 8 to 10 years old. I was it's not a big deal. I'm pretty good. I can just take a few months off, you know what I'm saying? And Trace, my middle brother, he was Tori, if you want to be good, you're going to come out here and practice with me. And I started doing that during COVID, and we would play competitions. I mean, there's no telling how many putting and chipping games we have played in our career or whatever, but I would definitely give most of my credit to them of the player I am today.
That's really cool to have that. Go ahead, Coach.
Talk about how her brothers push her. So I've been coaching for 24 years, and I'd never even thought to look for golf records. But my son, while we're on the second round of the state tournament, I didn't even know it, but he got out his phone and starts looking up state records. And I think her uncle, Randy, was there as well. I think Trace and Randy were both looking for it together, and they finally found the state records, and they realized she was really close to that state record. Well, we get to the 16th hole, and Tori misses the green. There's 2 par 3s to kind of finish, and those are the same 2 par 3s that she bogeyed the year before to lose first place.
And I don't mean to interrupt. Are y'all still playing at Manchester for the state tournament?
No, we are in Sevierville at the Sevierville Golf Club.
Okay, so that has moved.
It is, and it's in the mountains, and it is a brutal trek to walk.
Yeah,
okay.
Brutal.
But for a West Tennessee kid, it's a brutal trek to walk. But anyway, so they've looked up the record, and they realize she's close. They didn't even tell me. I had no idea. And so she gets to the 16th hole and misses the green, and Trace is standing with his mom and I up by the green, and he's like, she's got to get this up and down. She's got to get this up and down. And in my mind, I'm thinking, dude, you're so competitive. Just calm down. She's got a 10-stroke lead. It's okay. That's what's going on in my mind, but I didn't say anything. And she gets it up and down, goes to 17, and he's mumbling about she needs to get a birdie right here. And again, I'm thinking, this is a little bit much, And so in between the 17th and the 18th hole, Trace went to my assistant coach, Blake Carnes. We designated Blake as the coach for the tournament because now in high school golf in Tennessee, a coach can talk to the player from green to tee.
Thank God.
And then when they stick the first tee in the ground, they have to back away. Right. So whatever player puts a tee in the ground, the conversation's over. But Trace went to our assistant coach, Blake Carnes, and said, hey, casually tell Tori she needs a birdie. And he explained to Blake that the state record was on the line. And so Blake goes to Tori and says, hey, do you want to know where you stand? And she says, no, I'm just going to get out of here with a par. She said, wait. And like she said, but anyway, Trace was the one who went to Blake. I had no idea the state record was on the line. And then we get up by the green. It's the last par 3, last hole of the tournament. And I'm thinking, this is over. We got this one. And there's a little anxiety. And Trace explains that if she can birdie it, she can set the state record. And she got up there and hit it to 2 feet and had pretty much what for her was a tap in to not only win the state tournament, but to set that record. But her brothers have pushed her all the time and taken her out to the course. Dad was working and working a church job and a school job, trying to pay bills and keep them on the golf course. And brothers took them out there and kept her going.
That's really cool to have that experience, right? That family experience that makes us. And as you said, your older brother's playing golf at Union.
Yes.
And now you're going to be able to go play golf in Charleston and just kind of continue that career. So what is the you're a state champion. You're a record holder until somebody breaks it, right? So I mean, in theory, for girls golf, that's a hard thing to do. When you set records like that, sometimes those records, especially in girls sports, remain for a long time. So I mean, we could come back and potentially your kids could be playing in high school and playing for a golf record of some sort if you're in Tennessee, right? I mean, that would be pretty cool, but that would be down the road, right? Some time. But what are the aspirations from here? You've won the state championship. You've set the record. Those are all great things.
Right.
And if you look back on high school sports, you could go, wow, that's been a great career. But you're going to go play college golf. So is it just I want to play college golf and get a degree and then move on with my life? Or is there something after college golf that entices you, especially with kind of how the LPGA and things are coming through now, and women's golf, 10 years ago was getting a little push at the PGA level, the LPGA level, but now it seems to be a lot more at the forefront. Are there aspirations for you to go that route?
I would definitely say there is. I mean, it'll all depend on college golf, like how I do then, and I would say that would definitely be like a dream goal of mine. But I'm definitely not going to go play and not be making I need to be making some sort of salary because then you're broke. So I would definitely say that is a dream of mine, but I'm just going to go and play college golf and do the best I can. I would hope we get a championship there too. So.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be really cool to be part of a team or an individual championship at that level. And that would really solidify you as a candidate for somebody that could move on to the next level. There's a lot of women golf, especially in the other countries. You see the Asian countries really dominating right now
For
in the LPGA. But it's really cool to see that we have that, and I hope there's more and more young ladies that have this opportunity down the road to compete and maybe expand that field for women's golf. I think it's really cool.
For the junior golfers out there who have those kind of aspirations, just in the last 2 years, they've started what's called Team Tennessee, which is part of the United States Junior Golf Development Program, which is a USGA initiative that feeds into Team USA. And basically, we've known for years that our junior golf was behind the foreign countries, both Europe and Asia. And basically, that goes back to the club system that they have in Europe. Mm-hmm. And so we have started, the USGA has started state golf. And this year was the first year. We had 7 states, I believe it was, in the country that had a team. And Tori was part of Team Tennessee. And hoping to qualify and be on Team Tennessee again. I think we'll find out in a couple weeks on that. But anyway,
I think a state championship might get you there, I'm just saying.
But anyway, we realize that we're behind those other countries, and so the USGA is trying to make things possible for young players that up until now, and I don't know if this is fair or not, but it seems like most of the time people who have a lot of financial resources have been successful in golf in America at the professional level. Mm-hmm. In other words, they started with something to work with. There are a few exceptions to that, I think. We could read some good books about that. But I think they're trying to make golf available for more and more people. Tiger Woods kind of started that with First Tee, or promoted that, but now the USGA is getting involved, and they've realized they've got to build up our junior golf. And so I think it's working. We have some phenomenal junior golfers on Team Tennessee. One of the ones that was on the inaugural team, Tucker Wick, he's at Lee University, and he's had amazing success out the bat as a freshman, doing some amazing things at the NCAA level. So anyway, I think Team Tennessee and Team USA and what they're doing through the United States Junior Golf Development Program is just going to continue to feed that.
Yeah. And you talk about the ability for a coach to interact with their players. And I always thought when I was coaching golf that I had to go to a course and then send my kid off on their own. But
Right.
then I go coach football and I talk to them every second. Even during the play, I'm telling them, hey, run left, whatever. And so, or basketball or any other sport, you're coaching your players through the entire competition except for golf.
Right.
And I always got so frustrated because I've got a kid who mentally or maybe just doesn't understand.
Course
they don't need
management.
to pull, course management, right? They don't need to pull a driver out on this court, on this particular hole. And maybe they need to hit that 5-iron or something. But you couldn't tell them that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, and I don't want to say I ever cheated because I never intentionally did that, but I hand them a water, and if there was a 5 underneath the cap when they took it off, I'm joking. I never did that. But that's what you felt like you wanted to do,
Yeah.
right? Because you wanted your kids to be successful. And I always thought as a coach, we weren't making our kids as successful as maybe they could have been because they were trying to take a chance. I really appreciate the TWA changing that rule and allowing the coaches to be able to have some conversations with that. Now, if they could just get you caddies,
Right.
again, pros have caddies, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's like in basketball, we play the sport the same way at all levels. Kids, elementary, middle school, high school, college, and professional level. Football the same way. It's really no different. But in golf, all of these differences happen. You know, now they've taken care of the coaching. Now we need to get you all caddies. I mean, that would have been really cool
Yes.
to be able to do that. What else? Is there something we haven't talked about today?
I'm trying to think.
I want to share one of my favorite stories from the year that has to do with her teammate, Ava. Ava has been playing golf and has huge potential. But when she's done with the round, she's done. Like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be done.
My feet hurt.
My
I just
feet
need to
hurt.
lay
Yeah,
down.
everything. And we were at the state tournament, and I don't remember if it was after the practice round, which, by the way, as I said, is a brutal walk, or if it was after the first round. But she came off the 18th hole, and she said, I got to go practice. And that was one of my favorite moments as a coach.
We were all like, what? You want to do what? Like, did we hear that right? Because usually she would be like, can I just like have food and then go to sleep? Like, I need to be in bed by 5 o'clock tonight. Like, and I'm like, Ava. And then she came off and she was like, I need to go chip. And I was like, all right, let's go.
I think it was after the first round.
Yeah.
She had played really solidly, except her chipping game had kind of gotten her in trouble. And she came off the 18th hole, and she said, I got to go practice chipping. And so I went down with her to the chipping green, and we worked on chips for 20, 30 minutes. And up until this point, after her sophomore career, her sophomore year, that would have been unheard of after a round. And I think she's seen Tori do that. The day before, after the practice round, Tori went up and played the course really well in the practice round and figured some things out. And Ava was done. But Tori's down there putting and hitting balls. And I think Ava saw that the day before and then saw how Tori had gone out and played even better in her first round, shooting 5 under that day. And so she decided she was ready to practice. And it paid off the second day. She chipped really beautifully the second day. But anyway, that was one of my favorite moments
definitely.
as a coach. And I think for Tori as a teammate, we both got a lot of laughs out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, and a story that you'll look back, down the road when maybe she's in that state championship run in her senior year, and say, hey, you remember this? That's like clicked for you or something.
She actually cried when she found out that we had to go to state because she was like, I can't miss school. Like, I'm failing like 3 classes right now. I need to be at school. And I'm like, Ava, there are people crying that they didn't make it. We're going to go out there and have fun. Like, you're going to love it. It's going to be fun. It's a fun experience. We can get you tutoring. Like, it's okay. It was hilarious. But yeah, I've definitely, like, one of those things has been I've been gifted with like amazing teammates. Got to play with my brother. And that's probably been like the funnest part of golf through high school is like we have so much fun, karaoke on the buses, stuff like that. And I think that's just what makes golf,
Yeah, definitely. It definitely lends to one of those, because on the course, especially in adult golf, right, on the course, it's one of those things where it's a conversation. I mean, Coach, I don't, as an adult, you're not quite there yet, but you played probably a lot of round of golf with some buddies, and it's a conversation about life and conversation. And Coach Hicks from Madison just walked in, and he's a golfer, and just getting out there and having those conversations and enjoying that time together, as good or as bad as you might be playing. It's a stress relief. It's all those things, and when you're hitting the ball really well, it's
fun.
Now you said, I think maybe early on, and start this conversation off, that you, for a girl, drive the ball really far. What is our driving average?
Well, I just got a new driver that goes around 20 yards further, so I hit the ball probably average around 260 to.
Okay, you're fired. Get off my show. Just done. No, I'm just joking. 260. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some big numbers.
Yeah.
And then, but you said you really worked on your wedge game as well,
Yeah.
right? So, Ava, kind of taking the notes there and going, hey, look, this is where you win championships, right?
And even college coaches will tell you that sets a player apart, And when I was younger, that definitely was not my strong suit. I've always been pretty good at putting, and that's helped me. But wedges were never really my thing. And that really kills your round if you hit or playing good and then you don't get it up and down. Then you're like, oh my goodness, that was an easy chip. So I think that's a big thing, for junior golfers coming up. Wedges are so important to your game.
Yeah. I have tend to, the older I get, play wedges from the tee box. Because if I could hit my 9-iron straight, even at 140, I'd rather hit it 3 times and be on the green than in the woods coming out 3 times. I mean, it is what it is. So definitely. And the old adage, chip and putt for dough, drive for show, chip and putt for dough.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to,
Yeah.
and that's really cool. So golf is over for this year,
Yes.
but it's not over because you've got
It's
college.
Yeah.
So how will you approach this off season? Because as you said, hey, I could take some time off, but that really affects your game. And so you got basketball starting, right?
Yes, we started this week, actually. We had conditioning this week, which is not fun for a golfer.
Sure. Although maybe the trek around
Yes,
Seville
definitely helped.
Did you play that course before the practice round? Or was the practice round the first time you ever played it?
I've actually played it. It's been there all my years, so 5 years I've played there.
Oh, okay.
The state has been there
it's been there that
since
many
she
years.
was an 8th grader,
Okay.
and she made it all 5 years.
Wow.
So she's played there 15 rounds on that course, and I think that's it. I don't think
Yeah.
we ever got an extra round in. So
You made me feel really old, because what I realized that I coached for 26 years. I've been out coaching for 3 years now. But the last state tournament that I coached was at the Manchester
Yeah.
one, and so that's been a minute. And wow, okay. Time flies when you're having fun. So you've had some experience there, so that wasn't the first time that you go into that course. That's really cool. How will the preparation be this off season for you?
Yeah, I think with basketball, it's definitely hard. Basketball is a long season and very time consuming, but I think just after practice or something, hitting indoors, anything's going to help. So I'm definitely going to take it better than I have in the past, just coming into college where it's going to be a more competitive state. And I think in the past, I've taken 3 months, 4 months off, and I think that honestly helped me as a golfer, because I'm definitely I love sports. It's what I do every single day. If I don't play a sport that day, I'm I just wasted a day, So I think it's helping me going into college. I'm get to play every day now. So I definitely am going to take this off season as an opportunity to get better and just kind of dial in a few things.
Definitely. Moving to the college ranks, you said, is going to be more competitive. It's going to be, that dogfight to be in that rotation potentially. How do you feel maybe your chances are going in? What do you know about the team that you're going to?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about your chances maybe making that cut?
Yeah, I mean, I love the team. I've got to watch them play. They were actually playing at Vanderbilt in September. And they're really good. I mean, the girls are – so what College of Charleston does, they get one American and one European a year. So the freshman coming in with me, she's from Berlin. And they're really good, but we're losing a few players. So hopefully with me coming in, then that will help too. And just – I mean, I'm going to have to work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's gonna be handed to you.
No, definitely not.
That's really cool. What a great experience. What a life story, right? That you can come back and tell your kids and your grandkids someday. I mean, it's just really cool to be able to experience what you've gone
For
through. A state record and a state championship. What a way to close out senior year. Now, if you could maybe get basketball the same way,
Yeah.
softball. Do you play softball?
I do not play tennis.
Oh, tennis. That's right. You said it in the beginning. So, I mean, there's still an opportunity for
Yeah.
2 more, and a new coach in basketball this year,
Yes.
right? So that's going to be a little different. Coach
Yeah,
Coble is resigned and
Yeah.
kind of retired for a little while, and it's a little different there. But from what I hear, it's probably going to be more aggressive than it was even in the past.
Yeah,
So-
we have never run bleachers as much as we have this week, so we're definitely going to be way more in shape than we have in the past, which I think it's going to be fun. Like, my team is super close. We're all like best friends, so I'm super excited for this season because I think we can do really good things.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, anything else before we head off here?
No, we appreciate you having us
Yeah,
on the show and
thank you.
getting to promote junior golf and tell Tori's story. So.
Yeah, it's really cool. What a story it is, and maybe we'll get back over here before you're off to college
For sure.
for the end of the high school season,
Yeah.
and do a playing round or something, and have another show, another conversation about golf. It's really cool.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your state championship, your state record, Coach. Congratulations. You get to share that state opportunity because you're the coach, and then you're also dad, so it's a double blessing there for you.
It has been.
And so congratulations, guys. Congratulations, TCA.
Thank you.
And it sounds like we may have another one coming up in the ranks here, Ava, going out and working hard. So
That's right.
I mean, you never know
Ava.
down the road. So we'll maybe have her on in a year
Yeah.
or two and then talk about her experience. That'd be really cool to see that. Guys, you've been listening to Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach D. Stratton, live right here at Caddy's Sports Club. Caddy's is the premier indoor golfing facility in Jackson. And what a way to kick this off in this mural right behind us of one of the iconic shots in golf. And then to talk about Tori's state championship run here. And so appreciate them coming in today. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've got Coach Andrew Hicks from Madison Academic Magnet High School. Can we fit any more words in there? Probably. We've got basketball just around the corner, as Tori already explained. She's running bleachers and getting into that basketball shape, way different than
Definitely.
golfing shape. And so we'll talk with him about the Madison Mustangs, probably boys and girls, as Mama's home doing mama daycare duty. But she'll be listening, I'm sure. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Hey y'all, this is Mary at Mulligan's. Come see us soon before the new wears off. Hard to believe, but we're coming upon an anniversary in our locally family-owned business at Union University Drive. We still have our daily lunch specials, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which will remind you of Grandma's cooking. Or try our Irish dishes, fish and chips, Reuben's and shepherd's pie, or everyone's favorite, the Mully Burger. And how about brunch on Saturdays and Sundays? Yep, every weekend, serving Jackson for over 25 years. See you soon at Mulligan's.
Ever wonder what we do to keep the station cool around here with all this hot air?
We use Mylan Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company that takes pride in fast responses. They offer repair for HVAC maintenance, installations or replacements, services for water heaters, and airflow quality. Mylan Heating and Air also offers financing with up to 12 months, no interest, no payment for those who qualify. Heating or cooling, residential or commercial, keeping the community
And the station.
comfortable. Mylan Heating and Air, your local Daikin dealer, 731-487-9211, or visit them online at mylanheatingandair.com.
Get a seamless built-in look for your kitchen with a KitchenAid Flush Design dishwasher. With a panel-ready door and flush installation, this dishwasher fits evenly with countertops and cabinetry when installed in a standard cabinet depth of 24 inches. See how beautiful your kitchen can look at Kaufman's Home Furniture and Appliances, located at 2845 U.S. Highway 45 Bypass in Jackson, or call 731-664-0900.
Kaufman's. Relax your home.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State. Learn what we're all about at jscc.edu.
Best One Tire of Jackson and Brownsville provides outstanding tire sales and service along with exceptional mechanical work to customers in Jackson and in Brownsville. Best One Tire provides commercial, industrial, OTR, and agricultural tires to West Tennessee with honest and courteous service. With trained professionals who perform a variety of auto repair and truck repair services to keep your vehicle running smoothly, including heavy-duty suspension work. Best One Tire of Jackson, 2690 Bells Highway. And Best One Tire of Brownsville at 1180 South Dupree Streets. BestOneOfJackson.com.
Hey, welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. Man, we just had a great conversation with Tori Robinson and Coach Robinson from TCA. What a story. State runner-up last year, finishing out with the state championship and a state record. Wow, what an experience. What a story that she'll have for the rest of her life. And that's really what it's about, right? I mean, just going through high school, learning these skills and these things that you learn in high school, and then having that story to share with your kids and your grandkids down the road, and headed off to the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, and that's a great opportunity for her and her family there. Her brother playing over at Union, and so the family of golfers there. What a way to go out with the state championship. But let's kind of start talking about some basketball. Tori had already mentioned she's running the bleachers and getting ready. But now let's bring in Coach Andrew Hicks from Madison Academic Magnet High School. And Coach, the round ball is upon us. I cannot believe that we're at the last week of football season in the regular season. It just seems like it's flown by.
Yes.
I mean, Christmas will be here before we know it. And,
No doubt.
And
2 weeks out or 2 months out.
Yeah, it's I mean, just flying by. Welcome in this morning, and let's talk about some Madison ball. I know Jen couldn't be here, so you want to break down the girls as well?
We can do both.
All right,
yeah,
so
let's
start with the young ladies
Okay.
first, and talk about that team. And
yeah, for sure. Excited about the group that we've got coming back. One of our bigger pieces that's coming back this year, senior Audrey Bowman, started off season really, really strong last year and got hurt kind of beginning of December, tore ACL, has been rehabbing through that, and got the full clear, kind of end of August, beginning of September, and has been working her way back, doing all the extra stuff that's required to come back from an injury like that. She's a year post-surgery, and so it'll be exciting to get her back on the floor. And it's always unique, specifically at a place like Madison. We don't have football. Well, we co-op with Southside, so a lot of the kids that want to do both typically don't come to Madison because it creates an interesting scenario because of no athletic block and timing of trying to get to Southside. So we don't really share a ton of athletes in the male aspect realm in the fall. A lot of ours are baseball and boys soccer that's in the spring. Girls are on the flip side. They've got girls soccer and volleyball. So, typically in the preseason, starting school till really still going on because our soccer team plays in Substate today, they don't have all of their kids until sometimes when season starts. And so, volleyball I think just ended losing in the region, first round of region I believe, or maybe district level tournament style, and so she's got about 3/4 of her roster has been in the gym the last couple of weeks, so that's been good. And then another senior, Kaylee Knott, she's a 4-year player and has continuously progressed every year, puts in a lot of work, kind of a versatile, can shoot a little bit, has a little size to finish, rebound and do some things. And then we have a junior, Ella Wainscott, and she took over a lot of the load from a scoring perspective after Audrey got hurt last year. Really good shooter, has slowly started to develop her game, developing both hands, going both directions and stuff. So I'm really excited to kind of see how those three specifically kind of blend in together, and then everybody that's coming back from other sports and has developed. We have some freshmen or some sophomores that we had as freshmen last year, we saw a lot of good things out of them and wanted to continue to develop. So, with us balancing so many multi-sport athletes on the girls' side, the typical trend is our girls really don't start fully hitting their stride till sometimes like middle of January, because it's, you've only had your kids 6 weeks at that point, trying to get everybody in and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and Wayne Scott, I'm just telling you this right now. If she laps me in the neighborhood like she did 3 times the other night on my walk, I'm going to be very upset. She is definitely an athlete.
Yeah,
she works hard.
She does,
and she lives down the road from me. I get to watch her shoot out in the driveway.
Yeah,
and that's an art that's lost. I drive a lot. Around Jackson. And there's very few times
people
that I
outside,
see
kids outside shooting. Yeah,
how
for
many
sure.
days that I'm sure you're a lot younger than I am, but I know you were out there shooting.
I had a goal in my cove and taped off the arc and everything. I was out there every day. Every day.
And Ella's that same way. I mean, she's out there all the time, and her and her brothers, and I mean, it's just one of those things where I just don't see it. I mean, we have other kids in our community and other basketball goals in the driveways, and
it's all this right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they got real strong. They got real strong fingers, though.
That's it. So, but definitely a lost art. Coach, the girls last year, but one had some injury on the team.
Yeah, for sure.
But they still competed. And
absolutely.
They went out and they won some games that maybe some folks out there were saying, hey, they shouldn't have won this game.
Right.
So, how does getting these girls back from injury this year really solidify Madison as being a contender?
Well, another girl that we've got coming back from injury, she got injured, I think, in the summer, is Jackie Mize, who's the youngest sibling of Marshall Mize and Abby, who both have been part of our programs the last few years. So it'll be good to get her back and getting into the flow. She's also a multi-sport athlete. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing for us this year is going to be replacing kids that played a lot. We lost Jaylee Donald and MK Nye and Abby Mize, who were, girls that played a ton the last 3 years. MK was a 4-year starter. She started as soon as she came in as a freshman. So, there's going to be some growing pains there, just trying to establish new roles. And then anytime you come back from injury, I know Audrey specifically is being a senior, she's, you naturally put a lot more on your shoulders than you probably should in coming back from injury. And this is my last year, and I've got to do so well, and my team needs me to do all these things. And that's going to be one of those things that's important for Jen and I, and really, everybody involved in the program, just like, hey, day at a time. At the end of the day, if we're playing our best ball at the end of January, beginning of February, that's the most important thing, and not putting so much stock in game one, all that type of stuff. There's going to be a lot of growing pains, I think, in that aspect, just trying to blend kids together, establish new roles, because these kids really haven't played together. Audrey didn't play the summer. Jackie didn't play the summer because we're still in rehab aspect. So this group collectively has yet to be on the court together, and we still don't have everybody. We've got 3 kids that are playing soccer. They're in sub-state today, and they've had a lot of success the last few years, and there's a good chance that they're going to be still playing coming up into this week.
Yeah.
And so we may not have them at all until official practice. And a lot of them, it's hard to balance multi-sports, and you're playing soccer, and then how do you find time to put a ball in your hands to get some shots? So there's probably some assumption there that those girls have probably not had a ball in their hand, and if they have, it's probably been very minimal. And so just trying to blend all of that, and that's probably the hardest thing about basketball in the state of Tennessee, is our lack of time of legit practice and preparation before official season starts. Mm-hmm. You get really 5 or 6 days, because the first week is practice, the second week you're scrimmaging, you're already playing people. It doesn't count, it's controlled, and you don't have to do it, but it's so hard to get your kids prepared to play in that short amount of time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of coaches have kind of, as it's gone on and on and on, let's just focus on us every single day. We're not going to worry about results. Yeah, we want to win. Yeah, it's important for morale, and it's important to establish how important winning is in that aspect. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can sacrifice trying to win a specific game that at the end of the day doesn't matter over making sure your team is prepared to play in tournament time.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the schedule last year, is the only district team that District 13 lost, Decatur County Riverside.
Yeah, they moved out, and we didn't replace them with anybody.
Okay, so that 5-team.
So 5-team district, yep. So we'll go with the play-in 4-5, which is that old traditional set, and then whoever wins that game basically just gets an automatic bid to region because top 4 teams will go to region.
Right. So Liberty, Adamsville, JCM, Scotts Hill, and Madison.
Yeah.
There, and that's a very competitive.
It is,
especially in girls basketball, as well as boys. And we'll talk about here in a second. That's a very competitive district. Last year 6-6. Can't do that this year because that's one less team. But
right.
It's an opportunity here. A big win over JCM last year.
Yeah, for sure.
With what they had on the floor, and so that was a huge opportunity. A big win over Chester County, which is always a team
perennial competitive
program.
team.
And so having them back on the schedule, but looking at this schedule for the girls, Lexington, Jackson Christian, McNary, Milan. Northside's an up-and-coming program. It's on the schedule, but they've got some move-ins in the off-season. They're, I think, going to be markedly improved.
Yeah.
South Gibson, Chester County. That's a huge loaded front end.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
I think obviously, in our area, it's really hard to find that balance for guys and girls. Because there aren't a ton of programs where both programs are on the same level as the 2 teams that you're trying to play. So, like, if I'm specifically looking for a team that's on our level, their girls' team may be really, really good, or it may be opposite. Jen's trying to find somebody on her level, and the boys' team is, like, kind of out of our league in a sense. Or maybe it's not a competitive game for us, and it's – so I think in some of the aspects that's part of it. Milan has been some really good games for both of us, so those have been really good. It used to be a region opponent, but with the restructure, they're actually no longer in our region also. So that's kind of a unique setting. And then talking about that game, our game at Milan is going to be pretty cool. We're out of school that week, but they are not, and so those games are actually going to be during the day, and their entire student section or student body is going to be in the gym. So that'll be a really cool environment and atmosphere for our kids and their kids too, just to be a part of playing in front of a quote-unquote packed gym aspect. And then South Gibson's perennial girls program, obviously, and their boys has been a real competitive game for us. So it's good for our girls to see that challenge. And then locally, it's trying to play as many in those. A lot of those schools are bigger than us, and Milan's our same size, but Northside's bigger than us, South Gibson's bigger than us, Lexington's bigger than us, Chester, McNary, all those are all 3A schools, but they're local. The travel is easy, allows our parents and our fans to go home or away, and for their schools as well. So it's good for our kids to play in front of and people they enjoy playing in front of.
Yeah. So looking at the girls' schedule here, are they going to be playing in any big tournaments that we know?
Yeah, so we've kept up our tradition of alternating a team that goes out of state after Christmas, and so our girls are going to be traveling to Gulf Shores after Christmas for a tournament down there. So the boys are going to be playing in the Hoops for the House tournament at JCS before Christmas, and then the girls will be traveling after Christmas to a tournament down in Gulf Shores.
Right, so you need some chaperones for that.
Yeah, anytime we can have fan support travel 6-7 hours, it'll be really good.
We'll stream it while we're there or something.
It's always a really good experience to kind of get our kids out and create some team bonding experiences and stuff like that. So.
Definitely a lot of life lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. And you try to. It's kind of cool to create that. For that small window, almost like that collegiate type feel, like you're on a business trip. There's no school related to it, so let's prepared. Let's go play. But then as soon as the games are over, it's kind of like, all right, I've got 12, 13 hours to kind of do what I want to do. Let's go do some things together as a team. Let's take in some scenery that we don't get to see every day and interact in a different realm of lack of pressure of school and things like that.
Yeah. Let's turn to the guys here and look at the guys' schedule. And, of course, a lot of the same teams that we just talked about that you're playing. Guys struggled in the beginning of the season. But, I'm looking at this schedule, and you're playing Northside. You're playing Jackson Christian. You're playing Chester County. Clarksville Academy, who was really good last year, Lexington, and you guys got to win against Chester County at home early in the season, but struggled a little bit there against some really good teams, and then hit kind of the district and found a little bit of a stride, making it to the region quarterfinals there. But what's coming back for the guys, and how's this team going to be? Maybe a little different. Who can we see on the court for the men this time around, and how do you get them ready for this, particularly the same schedule that you had last
so really excited about the group we've got coming back. It is definitely the lowest number of guys I've ever had in a program. We've got 12 guys, and that includes our 4 freshmen. But we're also playing a completely different style of play than we've never played, and I've honestly never coached. Going to get up and down a little bit, do a lot of things that I think our guys are kind of mentally and physically trying to get prepared for in this preseason. And then we bring back a lot of guys that played last year, so we're really excited about that. Harry Rowland's coming back, Grant Rickman's coming back, but we've also got guys that played valuable roles, and Caleb Brewer and Alan Meek, who are my other 2 seniors with Harry. Austin Willett's a guy that played a ton freshman and sophomore year as well. And we've had some guys that are younger that have really, really developed towards the end of last year into this year. And I had a meeting with my seniors the other day, and we kind of went through our schedule that you just went through, and we had like 6 or 7 games that were 1 or 2 possession games that we just, for whatever reason, we didn't close out. Lexington at the start of the year last year, we lost in overtime. We had a really close game with Milan at their place. We had a close game with South Gibson. And so a lot of those early on contests against those high-level teams, I think, prepared us down the road. Obviously, we lost to JCM at the buzzer at their place after feeling like we not dominated, but we played our best basketball and led the entire game, and then just had some things go against us the last couple of minutes, and some of that was what they did, and some of that was what we did. And then I think those kind of things kind of showed themselves as the season went on, and we finished strong, winning some district games to end it, advancing to region quarters, and we had a competitive game against Peabody. We did a lot of really good things, and then they kind of took a stretch there in the third quarter that kind of pushed the lead out to where we just couldn't get over the hump. So excited about what we're going to be doing this year. I think it's going to be an exciting brand of basketball, a little bit different than what we were used to. Our guys are excited about getting to play it. And we're going to be depending on a lot of guys. I really think, I've told our guys from the beginning, like, we've got 12 guys, and if I can trust all 12, I'm going to play all 12.
Yeah. And it really makes another team, the other opposing coach, really have to think about who he's going to see on the floor, right?
For
when
sure.
You've got that deep of a rotation, and guys that even as freshmen that can come in and give you good minutes, either defensively or offensively, change up the mindset of an opposing coach. Yeah. Sometimes makes them waste time in practice, preparing for something they may or may not see. And in basketball, that practice is somewhat limited.
It is limited.
You've got a few days before the season really starts. And you're trying to go out and prepare for a team that could throw multiple facets at you. That's a hard thing to do.
For sure.
How will this district season for you, for the guys, be different than the girls? Obviously, Decatur County out. The Panthers
for
are
sure.
out, right? But you're still looking at Scotts Hill. You're still looking at Liberty. Liberty looks like they're going to be a very competitive team this year.
It's kind of there. Last year JCM was I would say probably the most talented team. They had that sophomore class that is really strong, and then Riverside obviously had the People's kid, and then Couples kid, and a couple other guys. Obviously they're gone. I think the talent in the district is kind of parroted, if that's a word. It's created some parity. There we go. With Liberty having some guys move in, JCM's lost a couple of guys that moved to Liberty, and then Liberty also had the Josh Sain's son that transferred in from McNary, pretty talented kid that's going to be a senior, and so they've gotten some talent in. JCM, graduated BJ, who was a phenomenal player that created some headache, and then losing a couple of guys. So I think the balance maybe shifted, and it's going to be and it was competitive last year.
Yeah.
I think JCM and Liberty had a couple of really good games. Our games with Liberty have always been competitive. You know, and then Scotts Hill, you just kind of never know with them. Like they'll start the season off a roller coaster, and it's a very difficult place to play down there. And so, like, I mean, we went down there last year in the last game of regular season. They beat us, and then we turned around and had to play them at their place in a win-or-go-home game to keep playing, and we pulled it out. So, and then Adamsville, you know, Adamsville plays a really good brand of basketball, and they're kind of similar to those small schools that, you know, their football team's really good, and so, like, a lot of kids that they depend on from an athletic standpoint specifically, not maybe just basketball, are playing football 2-3 weeks into the playoffs, and so they don't get those guys till late. But they play a good brand of basketball too, and I expect them to be better than they have been in the past. They've been trending upward the last couple of years, so it would not surprise me for every game in our district season to be really close and competitive fourth quarter ball games.
Could be a dogfight.
Yeah,
all the way down.
every game, every year, kind of the, you know, SEC type stuff. Yeah.
I was thinking more Big Ten, but nonetheless.
I don't know about Big Ten basketball. You got some heavy hitters up top, but at the bottom.
Looking at the pre-district schedule there, you've got some big teams.
Yeah,
in
for
there.
sure.
Jackson Christian,
Yep.
you know, they're going to be strong again this
Yep.
year. Potentially seeing them a couple times, and then in the Hoops for the House Classic there that they have, which is a great
Absolutely, great deal.
fundraiser
Great deal.
for
the
what
Lewis
they're doing.
families and that they're really close to us, and you know, I love what they're doing with that,
Yeah.
trying to get that going with the Ronald McDonald House
Yeah.
and the support and
Yeah,
cause.
we
that
had
they-
Coach Teichman in earlier
Yeah.
in the rotation here and talking about that. It's a phenomenal thing, and even though we don't necessarily broadcast it, it's something that we're going to promote.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
of the cause
Absolutely.
of what it is, and over there at JCS. And so we wish them much success. And guys, as you get into that season around the middle of December there, right before Christmas, you know, think about maybe one less Christmas gift for the family.
Yeah,
and
for
something
sure.
that you could give to this.
Yeah, and
this
even
cause.
just going and supporting, watching local
Yeah.
hoops. You know,
Yeah.
Kyle's doing a really good job of promoting and growing that from the basketball perspective and getting different teams in and trying to control matchups to create some bigger fan support and game support and stuff. So it'll be a really good deal.
One of the games that I'm going to be excited about for you guys this year is the Northside, the game, because it's, I mean, the style of basketball Northside plays, the competitiveness that they
Yeah.
are. They lost a couple guys last year. Going to be a little bit of a different team.
Yeah.
But you know, I think their big man has come on a little bit,
Yeah.
and in the off season, watching him practice a little bit, you know, I think that's going to be a really good game. But you guys, you talked about this with the girls. It's a much different style of ball.
Yeah.
When you get to the guys' side, and so that North Side, that South Gibson game, the Lexington game,
Yeah.
you're familiar with Lexington and being there before, and Coach Fitch doing a really good job over there, and with the guys. But you got a pretty loaded preseason schedule.
We do.
Our pre-Christmas schedule in the first half of the year, and then playing Peabody in the middle of your district tournament. or
District
run there.
schedule,
And
yeah.
it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. So obviously, with a 5-team district, it creates gaps that, you know, in the middle of the year, it's you know, I could get to it like, man, I wish we were just practicing. But anytime you're able to add a school like Peabody, you know, to their region. A region opponent, that's who we played last year, kind of get a feel what that region's going to look like. You know, last year it was Peabody and Westview competing head-to-head for the top of that district over there. And so just kind of getting a feel of what that looked like and a little bit change of pace. They play a bit different style of ball than we kind of play consistently over here in our district at least. And so that'll be exciting to kind of flip it and kind of get that team in our gym and us go over there and get a part of that environment and stuff. Because I mean, Peabody's an athletic school. Like their football team's really good. Their basketball team's really good. The girls have been pretty solid in the past as well as in competitive and stuff. So, and then before Christmas, I mean, you know, playing Northside, a team like Northside, obviously it's got a player like Lincoln Woods. He's always going to create, you know, issues and fits for however style of ball that you play, whether you try to play slow, whether you try to play fast. And, they've always got athletes. And so that'll be a really good test for us, especially with what we're trying to do. And our guys, actually, the seniors, when I talked with them the other day, that's something that we're kind of looking forward to. Like, how does what we're trying to do translate to against a team like that? And it'll be good for us. And every year that we've played them, our first game has been a game where we have not been as competitive and that I've liked. But the second time around, I think our guys have grown and adjusted, and we've played them, and it's been a much more competitive game, even to where, like, a couple of years ago, the year they went to state tournament, we missed a wide-open shot to take the lead with, like, 15 seconds left. And so as a coach, you like to see that growth. At the same time, I would like that growth to be the first game of the season.
Yeah.
And maybe we can establish ourselves competitive in the first game and then grow from that first to second game to where we can pull it out. So.
Right. And you talk about that because used to, when you played in these Hall of Fame games, you didn't have to count them towards your record.
Right.
That
right.
was really kind of your practice.
Yeah, it was like your exhibition. Kind of
games.
exactly, like the college games doing now, which I
Yeah.
think is a phenomenal thing. All these games that they're doing for exhibition and calls. Carolina played at BYU yesterday. Kansas played at Louisville. Duke's playing at Tennessee on Sunday. And all the money that's being generated, not all the money, but majority of the money that's being generated is going to causes, and they're not counting, but they're NCAA game atmospheres.
Yeah.
I mean, these places are packed, and
Right.
they're whiteout games and this type of game, and so it's I kind of wish it was still that way, to where you can create that environment, but I mean, kids are going to always be kids. It's a lot easier for adults to look long term and long vision, and it's worry about the end. Worry about the end. Let's worry about the process to get there. Don't worry about. But you look up, and we've got three quote unquote Hall of Fame games, because TLSAA has adjusted their ability to let you play those games, and you mess around and you play three strong teams like we're playing, and we can be 0-3. And we've gotten a lot better, and we've learned a ton about ourselves. People look at 0-3. Kids look at 0-3,
Yeah.
and people talk and like, oh, y'all lost, yada yada yada. And it's really hard for kids specifically, and adults too, but kids specifically, to understand like weighing importance of games. You don't want to say they're not important, but if those games prepare you for styles and abilities and experiences, to where when you get to January and you're playing district, or you're in February and you're playing tournament, and you're like, I see what we did there. That we learned in November how to handle this in January.
And that's a time, right, other than the tournaments, when you play that many games so close together. It's 3 games, 4 days.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
well, and we actually, I may regret this, the way we scheduled, but on the flip of that, it kind of had that type of mindset. We have a stretch. We play Lexington on Monday, team from Clarksville Northwest on Tuesday, and then Hoops for the House Friday, Saturday, Monday in December, all before Christmas. It's 5 games in 7 days. And I was talking to my assistant, and I was like, we're either going to really learn a lot about ourselves, or I'm really going to regret us doing it. But we're going to find something out.
Yeah.
And it's that same thing, man, especially – every year it seems like weather comes in and throws a loop for things, and stuff gets pushed and crammed all in, and who knows? I mean, that stretch right there could be an establishing factor of preparing us for something like that down the road that we at the time had no idea was going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, it's always a learning curve.
Absolutely.
It's always a learning opportunity. So
Yeah.
you either learn good things or you learn some negative experiences.
Yeah.
And you either overcome those
Yeah.
from the player side and the coaching side, or you just don't do it again.
Yeah,
next year.
and that's the hardest thing about, you have to experience stuff in playing sports. You can't practice everything that you need to practice, and we can't simulate everything that you need to see in practice to prepare you for that. You have to go through it. And that's going to be what's unique for us this year. I mean, we've got 12 guys on the team, and 6 are underclassmen and 6 are upperclassmen. So we've got 6 guys. 5 of those 6 have never touched the floor in a varsity game, in a situation that matters. Only 1 has. And so you're talking about close to 50% of my roster who's never been in any of those moments. And realistically, as a coach, with what we're trying to do, I want all 12 of my guys, when it comes to January, to have been in situations where, they feel pressure and they know what the moment's going to be like, and they know what the competitiveness is going to be like. And so the hope is how we're playing and what we're doing and our schedule that we're creating or have created present those opportunities for us.
Right. I had an opportunity one time to coach a girl 6'6", and we had nobody in practice to defend her.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And here I am as a grown man, 6'2", trying to body up against her so that she has somebody that she would feel competitive against.
For sure, absolutely.
And then her little sister comes on the next year. You know, she's a junior. Finally, her little sister comes up, and her little sister at that point is a freshman, 6'4".
Yeah.
And at least she had somebody in practice that could potentially block her shot or something.
Yep.
And you know, when you don't have that and you can't simulate that in practice, it is a huge deficit to have that.
It
you
is.
know, and so it's very important to again create these opportunities for your teams to experience something like that, especially not in the district schedule where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, you guys had a tough first half. Several L's in that first half of the season for you guys last year.
Yeah.
But that really prepared you for the second half, and then all of a sudden you find yourselves in the region tournament.
Right.
And that's where it matters.
It does. And we talk about this all the time. I mean, you really have 3 seasons when it comes to high school basketball. You have your non-district, which is, starter season basically all the way till January. Depending on your district layout, you may start some in December, but you're typically from November to January, you're just preparing your season, trying to figure out if what you're doing is really going to be effective long term and a learning curve. And then you have your second season, which is your district. And at the end of the day, those games are important, but they're still not important. If you go 0-10, and of those 10 games, you've been competitive in 7 of them, and you've learned a lot about yourself, and then you go into district tournament, everybody's still 0-0. Your seedings is different. Maybe you missed out an opportunity to get an automatic bid to region or whatever. But if you're playing your absolute best ball and your best games that you've played all season have been that last week of regular season district, and you head into district and you feel confident about what you're doing, all that other stuff is still irrelevant.
Right.
And it's really hard to see that as a player, and it's hard to see that as a coach too. I mean, no coach wants to go, 4-18 heading into district tournament. But at the same time, if those 4 wins, 3 of them came in the last 2 weeks of season because you're playing your best basketball, you've got to have some confidence heading into tournament time for sure.
And especially if you look at that, and maybe 14 or 15 of those losses were by 3 or 4 points.
Absolutely,
or less.
absolutely.
If you're in the dogfight, then you're learning something about your team. You're growing your team into position. And when you have teams that you're playing like Jackson Christian, Lexington, and as you said, they're all way bigger schools. Maybe not the Jackson Christian,
right?
But, the Lexingtons, the Northsides, the Milans, they're all way bigger schools than Madison is. And so they've got more talent to choose from, the more players on their team, you know? And so they can maybe put in a second starting 5 where, all of a sudden, I've got 10 guys in my squad and 3 of them aren't ready to play. Well, I've only got 7 guys in my squad.
Right, for sure.
So it's tough to do that. And putting your kids in that's what I really appreciate about our coaches here in Madison County is they're always putting our kids into learning opportunities. Right. And so we know that basketball is going to end, and for some of our kids, that's the end of their senior season. Tori Robinson just in here won a state championship in golf. She's going to get to go play at the college level. Right. But there's a lot of girl golfers in this state.
It's over. It's done.
They're never going to pick up a club unless they're just playing with a friend.
Yep.
And so we know that in basketball too. But there's a lot of life lessons that come out of that grit, that determination, that gritty, that dogfight that's going to set them up for life.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And our coaches really put our kids in good learning opportunities, and then coach them up through those learning opportunities.
Right.
I know all of our coaches personally, and I know their story, and I know, when they put their arm around that kid and they talk to him and they say, hey, look, this was an adversity for you, but guess what? This is going to grow you to become the man or the woman that you're going to be down the road.
Sure.
So I think it's a big deal. Coach, any changes? I heard the assistant coach for the girls got canned. Just joking. He's the assistant coach for the girls. I don't.
She'd probably get rid of me some days for sure.
No. Any changes in the coaching staff that we're going to see at Madison?
No, I mean I know we do have somebody's going to help out a little bit with the girls. Kevin Dillon, who was coaching St. Mary's Middle School for a long time. Both of his kids now are his 2 youngest. The girl is a freshman on the girls team, and then Gage is a junior with me. So he's going to be in the gym some, just helping out and being around. And so that's going to be nice just to have another set of eyes, just, kind of in a volunteer role, being as much as he can. Because, he's got a job on his own. But anytime you can get another set of eyes and somebody that's been around the game a lot and get another input is always helpful. And then Adam's still helping me out, which is great to have there on a consistent basis as well, and being able to break apart our guys and do some different stuff.
Yeah. And having, especially on the girls' side, that third person in the gym, because you're preparing for another practice and another
that's exactly that does make it that has made it difficult in the past, and I've always felt torn, and I know Jen has too. You know, like I want to be a part of our girls' growth on a daily basis. I want to be in the gym practicing with them and going over the stuff that we're going to be doing to help try to be successful. And on the flip of that, like I want to be around our guys, and I want to be, whether we're in the weight room before actually getting after it in practice form. So trying to balance that has always been unique. So having another body around for Jen to bounce ideas off and to see things and coach kids up, it definitely makes it better for our kids in the long run.
Yeah, most definitely. Coach, I appreciate you coming in today, talking about Madison. And very excited about basketball season. It's been a very competitive football season this year.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really anticipating basketball season and looking at the growth and the young players that have made some leaps and bounds in the off season for both the men and the women's programs here in Jackson-Madison County. I think we're really going to be able to watch as the fan, as somebody broadcasts, but goes back and just watches these games sometimes just for the heck of it. We're going to see some really good basketball, I think, in Madison County this year. And very excited about the competitiveness of all of our programs across the board. And that includes USJ and Halen Ayers is going to, that's going to be a
she's a must-buy. She's a must-buy ticket.
Wow. To watch her play and to be able to see what she's done. Trinity is going to be pretty good. And JCS, new coaches in some of these places.
Yeah, for sure.
How those schools change. But we're going to see a lot of those schools here in Madison County, and it's going to be really cool to watch that. I got a question this morning. Somebody had texted me and said, ask Coach Hicks, is the bounce coming back? So, the Hub City Sports Network hosted the bounce. That was your kind of vodcast show. And Hub City Sports Network got bought out by Talking Sports, where we're at now. But they're in the development of some new vodcast or podcast type things.
Right.
And so somebody texted me this morning on the way over here and said, hey, I saw you're going to have Coach Hicks on. What happened to the bounce? Is it coming back or not? So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, for sure. We had a great time doing that. I'd love to kind of keep that going. I've actually had some people ask, like, what's going on with that? I'd love to get on your show. Kind of before all that happened, Stutz down at Freed was wanting to get on, connection over at UT Martin with Jeremy Schulman, he was wanting to get on too. So I'd love to bring that back and kind of continue to expose West Tennessee to some high-level basketball.
Yeah, definitely. So, hey, you never know what you're going to see. Maybe right here on Talking Sports.
Yeah,
West
absolutely.
And Jackson, West Tennessee's Fox Sports.
And real quick, too, you brought up Halen Ayers. I want to give her a shout-out. She is doing an unbelievable job with the platform that she has been given to help grow the game in West Tennessee, but also give back to these kids. MJ had the blessing and opportunity to go to the camp that she hosted this past Sunday, and what an absolutely phenomenal job. Ashley and Joel have done a phenomenal job of raising her as a young woman and to use the platform that she's been given to give back. And so shout out to her. I mean, she's a phenomenal I have seen kids on the other end of that, not specifically here and the ones that have been connected directly to me, but kids who have had that type of platform and they have not used it in the way that she's using it. So,
and it's difficult to handle that kind of publicity and press, and all those things that get thrown at you at such a young age.
Yes, and you could see why a kid at that age would let it go to their head. I mean, God has given her a ton of natural abilities and the work ethic that she's mixed with that to be top 3 in the country at her age group in basketball and top 3 in softball. I mean, it's unheard of. That's Bo Jackson-esque type stuff, but generational athlete type stuff. And if she reclused and just stayed in that world, that to get away from the media and do all this stuff and sit on a pedestal, like it could happen. So, and she has handled it unbelievably well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And now you throw that in that there's finances that come into this
Yes,
that we didn't
absolutely.
see before at
Yeah.
the high school level,
Yeah.
right? And so that's an aspect that could even make kids really act differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
because of that,
Egotistical
Yeah. So,
and for sure. She
Yeah.
she has done a
very,
phenomenal
very humbled
job.
for
Absolutely.
did an interview with her at that
Yeah.
at that camp, and she's her thing was thanking the people that got her where she was at.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to see that folks recognize the hard work that other people put in to make you where you're not, it's not just genes, but she's got some good genes there,
Yeah,
but,
she does.
The fact that you got to take those genes and then develop them
You gotta build
into
them.
that player,
Absolutely.
build them into what you are.
A lot
So-
of people out there that use that dangerous word potential that never reached it.
Yeah, 100%. So, big shout out to Halen Ayers and Coach Ayers and his wife and all the people that step in to make her what it is. And really, it's not just her, because those same coaches and those same people are doing it for the other.
They
kids in
are,
the community,
absolutely, for
right?
sure.
Coach Jones and all those guys that she works with on a side basis. They're doing camps and
Absolutely.
and trainings with kids from all over the county and all over West Tennessee. So you have an opportunity to go work with these folks if you want to.
Yep.
The door's open. So
It is.
don't just think it's just her because she is at that platform. All of our kids have that opportunity.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely they do.
yeah. Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning.
appreciate you having
and,
me on.
We'll go back to kind of a boys and girls week.
Okay.
But I did, once the season starts, which I think for us here, it's around the 18th, 17th, 18th.
Yeah, it's the week of 17th, 18th is when we'll start playing games.
So we'll have that 22nd will be our first official week. But as I've had some folks ask me, they said, hey, look, we've got this tournament on a boys week, but I'd like to come in. Could I come in the next week? At this point,
Just talk ball.
Just hey, we got a lot of basketball coaches.
We do.
If we look at all of our schools, I think there's about 18 of them here in Madison County, and that's a lot of basketball coaches.
It is.
And so to get everybody in on and give them adequate time, it's tough to do. But if you're here, we'll get you on the show.
Figure it out for sure.
And make it happen. If radio at that point cuts off, if we get back to that radio gig, if it cuts off, we'll just continue on the digital side and roll it over 12 o'clock. We'll make sure that you guys get on. Bring your kids over. Our community loves to see them, and we appreciate you taking that time out on a Saturday when you could be sleeping in and trying to. Of course, for you, it's not sleeping
There's
in.
no sleeping in with Ace.
You've got babies. Well, not babies, but toddlers now at the house, and they're not sleeping in.
Yeah.
So, but we appreciate you. And Jen, I know she couldn't be here today, but
she'll be in here. She'll be able to get out and about this year
Yeah.
and talk about her kids, and she'll enjoy doing that for sure.
Definitely. Appreciate you guys' dedication to the sport. You guys, both coaches, very knowledgeable, and X's and O's and whatnot, but more importantly, better people. And what you're doing for our kids.
Well, I appreciate it.
And the example that you guys are setting for our kids in our community. All of our coaches. I really can't praise our Jackson Madison County coaches all the way across, from the private schools all the way down.
Yeah.
High quality people.
For sure.
And that's what we need leading our kids in
Yeah.
a society that's kind of crazy right now.
No doubt.
We need high quality people. So I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Very much.
Thank you.
Been listening to Sports Talk Live with Coach. That's me, Coach Steve Stratton, right here, Caddy's Sports Club. And Coach Hicks came in at the end of Tori Robinson's interview, the state champion, the state record setter, female golfer, and this year in TSSAA. And we're going to have to get our playing interview going at some point here, and just set all the cameras up in the booth. And
I'd like
just
to
play
get in
around
on
the
that one.
golf.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something that's going to have to happen. We talked about it all last year, never did it. We're going to find a night this year to make that happen. It's going to be really cool to do so. But we're live right here at Caddy Sports Club, as we are every Saturday. You guys are going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we got Brandon Anderson from Knuckle Sandwich and Hub City MMA. We got MMA action tonight.
Okay.
And going to happen at the fairground. I don't know, 12, 14 fights on the card, and it's going to be a very exciting night, and a big name coming to Jackson, Tennessee from UFC will be in town tonight.
Okay.
Come out, get a picture, get an autograph, and it's going to be very exciting. There are some general admission tickets, I think, available for this show. And then also, let me shout this out before we go to break here, because I want to continue to we love our kids, right, Coach? We do.
Absolutely.
This is what Sport Talk Live has always been about, is promoting our kids. We've got some young ladies that are in Argentina right now competing from Jackson, Tennessee, live, born, raised right here.
Yeah.
They're on Team USA.
Yeah.
They're competing in Argentina as we speak for world gold right now.
Okay.
2 young ladies have already podium bronze place finishers in the World Aerial Sports Competition in Argentina. Kylie Cartwright and Sofia Contreras have already medaled.
Cartwright is the cousin of a couple of our girls' basketball players. Yeah, the Van Hooks.
Yep. Already medaled bronze place finishers in their division. Congratulations to them. They'll be on the show maybe next week or the week after. It's going to be very exciting to talk about their experience and winning bronze medals for Team USA. What a story.
Absolutely.
What a story.
Pretty cool story.
Kids doing great things right here.
No
in
doubt.
Madison
Absolutely.
County. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes, guys. Don't go away. Brandon Anderson when we come back.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Hey there, you pizza lovers. When it comes to the perfect pizza, Jet's Pizza is in a league of their own. Our dough is made fresh every morning, hand-pressed with care, and baked to absolute perfection. We believe in the art of crafting pizza, slicing veggies by hand, and mixing ripe tomatoes with a blend of tantalizing spices. You haven't experienced pizza until you've tried our famous Detroit-style deep dish pizza, with 2 locations in Jackson. Call 731-300-7992 to get your Jet's Pizza now. We're also looking for delivery drivers with flexible schedules. Join our team and spread joy with every delicious delivery. Jet's Pizza in Jackson.
All the recent weather events has me wondering of ways to protect my home and my family in the event of an emergency or power outage. I can't imagine being without power.
At Lindsay Electric, family means everything. A generator installed by the factory-trained team at Lindsay Electric is the best solution for your family in any emergency.
So what's my next move?
Call Lindsay Electric today for a free consultation at 731-423-1580.
Hi, I'm Kobe Lindsay. At Lindsay Electric, it's not just a generator, it's a power move.
Is it a coincidence that the Titans play in the American Football Conference and there's an American Motors location on North Highland in Jackson? We think not. With a vast selection of off-road vehicles and street machines to fit every budget and lifestyle. There may be pressure on the field, but you will never be pressured at American Motors on North Highland in Jackson. Call 554-5000. Visit AmericanMotorsOfJackson.com. American Motors. Shop local, buy American, and go Titans.
Now open Tai Chi Bubble Tea, a new restaurant experience in Jackson with an inviting ambience like no other. You can enjoy a comfortable, family-friendly atmosphere while going through Tai Chi's extensive drink menu and deciding between their sushi menu, Tai Chi rice box, or ramen menu. You're invited to come see for yourself so you can tell all your friends and come back for more. Come and experience Tai Chi Bubble Tea, Jackson's newest place to meet and greet. 8th Stonebridge, down from Aldi.
Hey, welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here. Caddy Sports Club, the premier indoor golfing facility in Jackson, Tennessee. We've got 4 bays of high-quality golfing play, just about any course in the country, in the world, and even some courses from right here in Jackson, Tennessee. They went out and
Nice.
mapped them all out and got them all ready to go. And you can play even on a cold, dreary winter day. You can still go play the course that you play any other day.
That's
when
awesome.
you're outside. So it's really cool. And then something that I'm not sure if they could ever incorporate MMA, which is what we're going to talk about here, but they have football, basketball, baseball, cornhole, frisbee golf, zombie golf, or zombie hunt, or whatever it is. They got like 40 other digital games on the big party bay up here. So it's a really cool place to hang out and have some fun. It'd be difficult maybe to do some MMA, but maybe
sure
they
could
could
figure it out.
Yeah,
they can do zombie golf. We can do MMA.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, we can do something. Welcome in from the Knuckle Sandwich in Hub City MMA, Brandon Anderson, and man, we're excited about what's going to happen in Jackson here tonight. Got a lot of crazy things going on in Jackson today, but this for me is the top of the list because it's still sports related, and MMA action, Fight Night 11.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how we top Fight Night 10 because that was an electric night of fights.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say I've watched you guys pick the last 2 or 3 cards almost personally, as following you guys really closely as you do this. And I've got to say that you guys do a really bang up job at putting these fighters together, because it's not just one. You're not definitely not rigging any fights. You're not putting in an 0-4 guy against a 4-0 guy who doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, these are quality fighters that are coming in. They're trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, to make a name for yourself, it's a must-win fight.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't go out and lose a fight.
Yeah.
And make a name for yourself. Well, you can.
You could.
It's the other way around. It's not a good name.
Sure.
Right. But welcome in Sportsline Live. Man, we've been trying to get you on here for a minute.
I know. It's like every time I'm in Jackson, because of course I live in Clarksville, but every time I'm in Jackson, we make it a thing that we're on the air with you at some point, somehow, some way. So I'm always appreciative that you give us the time to do so. The fights tonight, you had mentioned, how do you top the last card? For me, whenever I'm putting together the card, and I told a fighter this last night, and they were surprised, but I think that if you don't have the goal of, the next one has to be better than the last one, then you're just going to stall out, and eventually fans will quit coming. So we always want to build the anticipation of Fight Night 10 was great. Fight Night 11 is going to be even better. Truly believe it. And it's just one of those things that we're always just – that's the thing. We just want to strive to be better. It's the same thing as a sports coach. We want to win every game. It's as a promoter and matchmaker, you can't win the game, but you can put on a really good night of fights that people want to come back the next time you're in town and have a next show. So
right, it's all about that showmanship as the promoter, as the fight coordinator.
Yeah, because
again, you're not doing the fighting, you're not taking the whooping, but if you create that environment, where and I'm gonna say this, the last set of fights, Fight Night 10. We saw some, and I thought the whole night was going to be over in about 30 minutes the way it started, because I mean, right out of the gate, people come out swinging hard.
Oh yeah.
It was fight over after fight over after, and I was like, whoa. And then we got into some struggles. We got into some matches that were a little more ground and pound, and took
a little more technical, things like that. Yeah.
And so we saw the action in kind of all aspects, and that's what I really think is difficult for you guys as the fight coordinators to anticipate is, hey, this is a style that really matches up. But also, if a guy comes out and lands that one haymaker, it's over with.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't see any of that style, right?
Yeah, and at the weigh-ins yesterday, we had a couple people struggle with weight, and so as I'm talking to coaches and things and trying to, make sure that fights still happen, it's hey, look, this guy might be better than your guy or vice versa or whatever, but, it's a fight. There's a puncher's chance in every single fight that anybody can win regardless. So that's the fun part about it. The excitement is you just never know what's going to happen. On paper, you could see two guys and you're like, oh, this guy's going to whoop him. And then, the other guy might come out and surprise everybody and shock the world. Yeah. So I think that's the fun part. And, with the order, the hard thing is I look at it as setting a batting lineup almost type of thing. You want to have your guys that are going to get on base and you got your cleanup guy, right? Yeah. So it's first couple fights are these ones that are going to be really exciting and get the crowd engaged. And then as we move on, you'll start seeing those more technical fights and the ones that like drag out maybe a little bit longer, but they're back and forth the whole time, so it still keeps the crowd engaged. And then you throw in a couple of those like maybe ones that might be quick that everybody just explodes in the building. So it's that's the fun part. It's like a puzzle or a batting lineup, where you're just kind of like you got to piece it all together to make it the best night possible.
Yeah, it's that chess match, right?
Yeah.
Of not only for the fighters because they may be fighting a style that they're not used to, but now you as a promoter are putting that together. So some names off the card this year that we're used to seeing. Some hometown heroes because they've moved on to the professional ranks.
Yeah.
Even though last year we had professional fights on the card. It's harder to have those guys on a consistent basis now because they are at that level.
Cost more money. It costs the promotion money. We got to pay the pro fighters, like those kind of things. So having pros all the time. We're hoping to have one pro show a year. But Lane Road, Trevor Grice, the two local guys that went pro and fought on LFA, the very big name stage, the feeder league to the UFC. If you're not familiar with MMA, I'm sure you've heard of UFC, and so those guys got a chance to be in some big spotlights, and honestly, both of them put on good performances. Lane came out and won his fight, and Trevor, I told Trevor's coach last night, like Trevor proved that he is one of the more durable guys in the region, and like he's willing to fight anybody because he took a really hard fight. So both of those guys put on a great show and really good publicity for them. But it makes it harder for us now because it's like, well, you went on the big stage and now you got to, do you want to come back and fight on the Jackson regional scene again? So, but luckily we have 3 Jackson guys from Arrow that are fighting, one in the main event this time, and then we've got some other Jackson locals in there as well.
And before we get to those guys, what I think is a really awesome thing is for these guys that have gone pro like Lane and they have success, it really solidifies the amateur cards that we have here at Hub City MMA. Because here are 2 guys, just within the last few months have gone pro and experienced success from right here on our local. So that in return will give the next kid up, the next guy up, that opportunity, because when those pro fight promoters and those cards start looking for somebody to put in there, they're going to go, oh, hey, these are 2 quality guys that have come up through the ranks through Hub City MMA. What is the next set of fighters looking like for Hub City MMA? So now, maybe they come to you guys and start looking for more of those fighters to promote and to make that next move. I think it's a win-win situation for everybody.
And it's all about building the connections with these promotions and stuff. Luckily, through Knuckle Sandwich, I've been able to interview the CEO of LFA and those kind of things. So it's like we've built those connections. So that might also help as well. Not tooting my own horn at any means necessary, but Hub City itself has grown so much over the last 2 years. And Ryan and I were talking about this last night, where it's like, man, from Fight Night 7 to Fight Night 11 tonight is just completely different in the production that we do, and the size of the place that we're in now, and the quality of fighters that are coming in, the quality of matches that there is. That now for commentary and things, I send out a Google form for everybody to sign and fill out, just so I can get some info on them. And one of the questions I always ask is like, have you ever fought for Hub City? If you have, what did you enjoy about it? Why did you decide to fight for us again? If you haven't, what are you looking forward to? And mostly everybody that's fought for Hub City always says they are one of the best promotions. They treat the fighters great, and that's huge for us. But they feel like there is a spotlight with Hub City now, which was one of the goals that we set 2 years ago for it. Was like, hey, by the end of 2025, we want to be one of the premier promotions. And I think we're pretty on par to be that, thankfully. And so it's been really fun to see it grow. And I think that Hub City now, it's producing great talent and getting great talent onto the big show. So it's a blessing all around for sure.
Definitely. And before we went to Sports Talk Live, went to the Talking Sports scene, the Fox Sports channel. We were with Hub City Sports Network, and that obviously was bought out. And it's one of those things that it was really cool that you guys opened the door to us just to be able to come in and help, get the word out and talk about those things because you guys did grow so fast.
Yeah.
It's very easy for you guys to make that connection with a large media company to maybe come in and do that. But you guys are growing that from the inside. You guys have now taken on the camera, the production, all of that kind of stuff internally instead of looking for that big company outside, which allows us as our smaller entities to come in and still be a part of that in some way. But I think it's really cool. One of the things that you've done in the past is the pay-per-view. Is it still pay-per-view?
Still pay-per-view,
Okay.
and it's ran a little different this time. Last show was our first time personally through Knuckle Sandwich doing a pay-per-view. We did it through a website. This time it's through our YouTube. So in theory, it should be more consumer friendly. There shouldn't be lags. There shouldn't be those things. And that was one of the big things that we went back to the drawing board and was like, okay, how can we make it better for the fans? That's kind of the big thing. And so it's on Knuckle Sandwich's YouTube channel. All you have to do, you got to hit join. So you join the membership. That's how YouTube, collects money. So you join our membership, you buy it, and then from there, the pay-per-view pops up whenever it goes live at 6 o'clock tonight. And then the only disclaimer that I throw out to everybody is make sure you cancel your membership afterwards, because I can't give refunds because YouTube does all this stuff and it is recurring. So I don't want to take anybody's money if I don't have to afterwards. So please make sure you cancel that.
Sorry, YouTube.
I'll take your money, but I don't want to,
And that's really cool though that and this all goes to help support the production of this. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a high cost. I mean, the ring is professional. The setup is professional.
Yeah.
The quality is professional. You might have had a little buffering last year, but that's going to be technical.
Yeah.
Always, when you're thinking anything technical, I've watched UFC and seen the flight go black.
Yeah.
The screen go
100%.
black before. So computers break and mics break down and this and that.
Internet runs out. Knock on wood.
So it is what it is. But one of those things, you guys do a bang up job with all of that. And so talk to us a little bit tonight about this setup because no pro fights on the card.
Correct.
So when you're thinking about the fights and the promotion of this fight and the promotion of the night with no pro fighters, how do you approach that differently than we did last time when you had pro fighters on the card?
Yeah, so we had 2 pro fights and 1 title fight last card. So of course when we go to the drawing board, how do we make it better? Well, if we have no pro fights, let's do 3 title fights. So 3 title fights tonight. We've got the featherweight, welterweight, and bantamweight championship all on the line. All vacant titles. So we're crowning a new champion regardless in all 3 of these, which is really fun. And a lot of our champions, as soon as they've won the belt, they've went pro, which for us is cool, I'm glad, but also it's man, we have no champions right now. So I'm looking forward to crowning some tonight. But yeah, that's kind of one of the ways that we do it is we're all right, well, if the last show we had 2 pro fights and 1 title fight, how do we replace those 2 fights? Well, I guess we got to put 2 more belts on the line. So 3 title fights at the end of the night. We have 2 kickboxing matches that were honestly put together this week.
Oh, wow.
And anytime in my experience that we put together matches the week of, those end up being some of the more exciting ones because it's I got nothing to lose, kind of deal. And so we've got some guys coming from Clarksville, the Screaming Eagles, 101st Combatives, 101st Airborne over at Fort Campbell. We've got a guy coming from there. We got a guy coming from Paducah, Kentucky to match with him. We've got a guy from Dyersburg and a local guy that owns a business here in Jackson as well, kickboxing as well too. So we've added some of those. We also have I'm gonna call it a grudge match type of deal. It's the JEA boxing match essentially. So it's 2 guys that work in 2 different departments that Ryan said he's going to make up some belt that they can walk around with on Monday and challenge somebody else for the next card. So that may be a fun thing we start adding in every card. But yeah, so there's quite a few local Jackson people, 3 local Jackson athletes on the MMA side of the card that I'm really excited about as well too.
Yeah. So let's get to the card and let's look
Sure.
at this.
Yeah, so I mean, if we look at the main event, Devontae Cheney, most people are going to know his name, Golden Child. He is fighting for that featherweight belt against Logan Prater, a really tough kid out of Wildside over in Clarksville. And funny enough, in our 3 title fights, Wildside is in all 3. And you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, well, are they getting favors? It's like, no, these guys are just really good and all title contenders. So after that, we've got Marquez Stamps, which he's from Olive Branch, Mississippi, but he's been a familiar face and name to the Hub City crowd and considers Hub City, the whole brand, his second home. So, or he says my hood is what he told me. But so he's going to come in and fight another kid that's a young, hungry, athletic guy, Brody Belitsky, again from Wildside. And then Muhammad Cisse came all the way down from Louisville last night, weighed in at 9:30 p.m. Wow. He's also a wild side. He kind of goes back and forth now that he's moved, but he's fighting Blake Grant, a guy from Nashville MMA who trains with the UFC fighters, and so that's going to be a really high-level fight as well, too. But the other two Jackson guys, Ty Arnold and Peyton Hudson, I mean, if you've followed around the MMA scene or even just followed around Aero Athletics, and you've probably heard of these two guys' names, they get a lot of praise for being the up-and-coming guys out of Aero, so really high expectations for their performances as well from their coaches, but also from the fans. So,
yeah. And so when you look at these fights and putting these guys together, you've got some folks from around the region, around the local area, but then you've had to reach out. How do those guys that how do you find guys from several hours away to come in and
thank the Lord for Facebook, honestly. Like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, that's how I get my notes for commentary. That's how we find out how fighters fight. There's other like databases out there for MMA, but when you're connecting with these guys, it's like, all right, let me just send out some messages. And, we made a fight 2 weeks ago for Ty Arnold with a guy, his name's Elijah Mahan. He's from St. Louis. He's 0-0 in MMA, and so you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a gimme. It's not. This guy's a D1 wrestler at Lindenwood University. Oh, yeah. He's 5-2 in kickboxing. He's got the experience. He's just never done MMA. So it's going to be a tough fight for Ty. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Elijah. It's going to be probably the fight of the night as well, too. And, some other guys that we've brought in. I mentioned Clarksville. We've got some Knoxville guys for the first time coming over. Seth Thompson-Bailey and Ethan Wincoop, two really young studs that I'm excited to have them on as well. It's always nice to have new gyms come on, and that's kind of one of our goals too, is like always to have one new gym come over and be on the next card, because then it just also widens our base of like, hey, now I can reach out to these guys if they have a great experience. And we always just make sure we take care of everybody too. But we've got we've got two Memphis guys on the card. It's just going to be a really fun night. My fight of the night, I've got like 3 of them if I can name those. Yeah. My sleeper fights, I'm going to call them. Yeah. We have a number 1 contender fight. I think both of these kids are just probably the top. They're really good, and they could be fighting for the belt tonight too if I didn't already make the match itself. But Khalil Hodges, he's been a familiar face, another guy from Olive Branch at Shackleford's MMA. He's taken on Tony Legareya. He's also fought in Jackson before at Black Tie. And these two guys are going to be a wonderful matchup. I'm really excited for theirs. Taylor Pennerut and Seth Thompson-Bailey, who I mentioned earlier, these two are both kickboxers, both decorated kickboxers, now MMA, so smaller gloves, 4 ounces versus 12. It's going to hit harder, and no shin guards either, so I'm expecting some violence with that one. And then, my other one, I think the Arnold and Mahan fight is going to be really good too, but even the fights early on are just going to be super exciting. So if you're coming tonight, make sure you're there at 6:30 or at 5:30 when the doors open. And if you're watching live on YouTube, make sure to tune in at 6 and just wait around for the 30 minutes before the fight starts, because you're not going to want to miss any fight whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's again, as I said, last Fight Night 10, I watched the first 3, maybe 4 fights.
First round and done over, yeah.
I'm not sure that there was 2 minutes worth of fights in the 4
together,
fights.
Yeah.
It was like so fast.
Yep.
And as soon as somebody ducked a fist, another one was coming over and it landed and over with.
Yeah.
And it was just, or that quick submission or something. And it was just so cool to be able to see that. And then I looked at my watch and I went, well, we're a quarter way through the card. And
yeah.
We're 4 minutes into the night.
Yeah.
What the heck happened?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the night got real serious and really technical. And when you have guys that are now pros like Lane Rowe and then those guys that come in, and even though they took care of business, their fighters put up the kid that came in, I think it might have been Lane Rowe's fight, that came in and fought him, was that the one that they took on a last second notice? Or was that the other fight?
Might have been the other one, yeah. Okay. I know that Lane's guy, maybe you're thinking, Lane's guy missed weight originally and had to cut weight all the way through the night until like 9 p.m. and finally made it. So, there was that thing where it's kind of like in limbo. Am I going to fight? Am I not going to fight? But you got to stay ready. But he came out and gave him hard leg kicks, and Lane was like, man, my leg hurt for the next week and a half, you know? So it's like, he came in and still put up a fight. So that's the fun part about it.
Very, very excited. What is maybe something that people may not know about Hub City MMA that will be very important for them to become fans, to become followers? How can they follow that entity? The Knuckle Sandwich obviously is part of that. So give us kind of some logistics. Tell us when the fight starts. Doors open, fight start, cost. What's available, what's not. Give us a little rundown of that.
So before Ryan texted me right before I came over here and said give away 2 general admission of tickets. So if there's people in the comments, maybe we can do that randomly or something like that. I'll kind of let you lead that way. But we would love to give away some tickets right now or soon.
You would, if you'll make the first person to comment in our live stream here on our Facebook, or text the call text line there at 731-298-0099. The first person who does that. And
comment Knuckle Sandwich.
Yeah. Put Knuckle Sandwich in your text, and we'll, as you see it on the screen right there, that's how you win those tickets. We'll put your name at the will call tonight.
Perfect, yep.
And you'll pick up those tickets when you get there, somewhere between 5:30 and 6 p.m.
Yep. So 5:30 p.m. doors open, 6:30 p.m. the first fight starts. We're always on time. We try not to be late on those things, just because you never know how it's going to go. We could be 4 fights in and it'd be 4 minutes in, or we could be 2 fights in and it'd be an hour. So it's just kind of one of those things where you don't want to miss a single thing. You want to get there as soon as the fights start. Follow Hub City MMA on Facebook and Instagram. Follow Knuckle Sandwich on Facebook and Instagram as well. I believe it's Knuckle Sandwich Podcast, or it might be Knuckle Sandwich with Brandon Anderson. I genuinely don't remember. But the main thing, especially with the pay-per-view, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Knuckle Sandwich with Brandon Anderson. You'll probably see my face or the logo at least. Make sure to subscribe there. You can hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to watch that pay-per-view, hit join as well. Tickets are still available. We'll sell some general admission at the door. I believe they're like $40 at the door or something like that. Or you can go to hubcityevents.com and you can find tickets on there as well too. And there may be some VIP tickets available still, some VIP seats if you want to sit down and not have to sit on some bleachers. So there's a couple different avenues that you can go right now to get those tickets. But, I think last show we had about 800 or so people there. So it can get a little tight. So I always suggest get the VIP, get your seat. You don't have to be, shoulder to shoulder with maybe somebody you don't like or that smells bad. So do that. But we'll have, the concessions, we'll have the drinks, we'll have everything going. And it's always it's a family friendly event. Even in our walkout music, we tell all the fighters it has to be clean music because there's kids there. We don't want those kind of things. And we're all about the fans. We're all about the people. We're all about the experience. And so even if you have no idea what MMA is and you just want something fun to do tonight after you maybe do some trick-or-treating things or trunk or treats or some things that's going on around, come to the fairgrounds. Come to the Jackson Fairground building, buy you a ticket, get you some pizza, and enjoy the night. And it's an electric thing. I tell people all the time, like, there's sports in general that you can go to, like hockey, for instance. You can go to a Nashville Predators game, have no idea what's going on, and have the best time ever. Yeah. I truly believe MMA is the same way. You can go tonight and have the best time ever and become a fan, or just have a really good Saturday night. So Jackson Fairground building, and doors open at 5:30. Fight start 6:30 p.m. sharp. We're going to have some special guests. You mentioned that earlier. We've had, Hub City's been blessed to put some fighters on big stages. Of course, Lane Rowe, Trevor Grice, we were talking about earlier. Jason Danner from Clarksville is going to be there. He was on the PFL recently. Originally, that was our Fight Night X main event, or Fight Night 10 main event, and the PFL picked it up. So they went and fought on the PFL card and opened it up, and it was an electric fight, and it was awesome, and he came out on top on that. He's going to be there. And then Danny, Left Hand to God Barlow from Law School MMA in Memphis, he's going to be there as well, hanging out. He'll sign some autographs for you. He's all about the people as well, too. But so if you want a better chance of meeting those guys and seeing some high-level fighters or meeting some, people that are on the rise and will be famous one day, if not already, get there a little bit earlier, too, and do a little meet and greet with those guys as well. But yeah, Jason Raw Dog Danner and Danny Left-Handed God Barlow will be there too, and of course I'll be there as well. I'll sign an autograph if you want me to. You know,
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Coach T will sign autographs as well.
Yeah, we'll do something, right? And so we'll have just so people know, we'll have the pre-fight interviews live right here on Talking Sports, our Fox Sports channel here in Jackson. We'll go live probably maybe around 5 o'clock and have that going to about 45 minutes.
Heck yeah.
Talk to some of those fighters, get their vibe and their feel for the night.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut off right there before 6 p.m. And we'll probably see if we can get you and Ryan to come back on and just
would love to.
Kind of give us how you feel about as fighters start to show up and you start to hear them talk about what's going to happen and their preparation throughout the day. I think it's one of those things where you wake up, you go to bed thinking about a fight, and then you wake up and you slept on it. And you might think differently, you might think, hey, you might have had that dream that hey, he's a wrestler and I'm not prepared for wrestling, or that kickboxing that now becomes MMA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to guys swinging their feet at me a lot. Not so much the hands.
Sure.
How's this going to be different? And so, it's always good to hear from these guys. And we actually had somebody text us.
Heck yeah.
They didn't comment knuckle sandwich, and we didn't say leave your name. We do need your name.
We do need your name.
But what I'm going to say, it said go fights.
Okay.
So
I'll take that.
It's their last 4 digits are 225. And so please text me back.
Yeah.
And you've obviously heard it. So. Text me back with your name. You can just text your last name. First and last name would be better.
Yep.
And if you'll do that, we'll get you that pair of tickets
100%.
Tonight. Also, I think we gave away some this week at the station.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to have to get those names as well and have those over there. But it's going to be a huge night tonight here in Jackson, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And always excited to promote not only sports in general, but that individual sport, right? We see so many team sports, basketball and football.
Yeah.
Had a young lady in here this morning, won the state championship golf.
Nice.
As a single competitor.
Yeah.
Set the state record with 12 under as a female golfer. She's going to go off to college.
I'm like a 40 over golfer, so it's super impressive. Yeah.
I mean, just for especially she drives the ball like 260. She said that's her average. Which means she could drive it farther than that because that's her average.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where, the individual sports sometimes get overlooked.
Sure.
And because everything is about that big team, about big football. They show up with a lot of people, a lot of hoopla. Basketball teams show up with dozens of people, a lot of hoopla, coming in the gym, always big names. But sometimes we overlook that single fighter or that single golfer, that single runner in a cross-country meet or something.
Yeah.
And their will to win might be fired by a team, but it's really about the passion they have inside.
Yeah.
And they don't rely on anybody else in the grand scheme of things. When they step into the ring, the doors are locked.
Yeah.
It's man on man.
It's you against you, yeah.
And I do have a question.
Okay.
In a second, I'll get to it, and you probably know where I'm going with
I do.
this. But it's man on man.
Yep.
And when you step out of that ring as the winner, you've accomplished something on your own.
Yep.
Now, lots of people got you there. Lots of training, lots
100%.
of other people that you spar with and whatever, your mentors, your guides, all that kind of stuff. But in the end, you had to go out and do it solo.
Yep.
And I think there's a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that comes with that winning that individual, whether just winning the fight alone, whether it's title or not, just winning that fight, you've accomplished that on your own. And I think that just goes to show that you could do something gritty for yourself. Now, I'm going to get to my question. I've asked this every time.
Every time.
Far, no female fighter.
I know.
Is there just now? I've got a young lady.
Okay.
Who came to me.
Okay.
After the last fight.
Okay.
And she said, "I want to fight." And I said, "Great.
Send her to Arrow. She can still train. Send her to Arrow."
That's what I said. I said, you need to go to Arrow and start training.
Because you can do youth kickboxing. Yeah.
But I said, you can't fight on their card.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain age.
Yep.
Is that
so
age?
we could do like youth kickboxing.
Okay.
But we can't do MMA. MMA's 18 at the state of Tennessee. Yeah.
I have heard through the grapevine that some of our and I say local, not Jackson, Tennessee specific,
Sure.
but some of our regional-based camps, our programs, like Dyersburg has a camp and a gym
do.
and a group, right? That there might be some girls starting to pop up at some of these gyms.
Yeah.
Is that something that will be coming? Because Coach is going to get, I mean, I have a foundation that promotes girls sports.
Yes.
So this is always big to me. Whether it and we know that on a even a professional MMA card, there's typically maybe one or two out of the whole card.
Yeah.
It's always super rare.
Yep.
Sometimes it's non-existent even at the pro level.
Yep.
I love that we're going to have women's professional baseball coming in. There's 4
Wow.
new teams in baseball.
Very cool.
Giving them an opportunity to play some baseball. I love it. But I want to see 2 women go at it here in Jackson, Tennessee.
Me too. Yeah.
Where are they at?
Yeah. I got sent a few names from, Knoxville, the gym in Knoxville that came down here and things like that. But it's few and far between, unfortunately. And it seems as if it is growing again. Back when the UFC first introduced, Ronda Rousey and introduced the women's divisions, there was a big surge. And I think it's died down a little bit. But it is harder to find those people with training. I think there's ladies out there that will, I'll fight anybody, whatever. But with training, that's a little harder. But we're going to say this live on air, and you can hold me to it.
Hold me to it.
January 10th, Black Time Boxing, gonna have a female fight on it.
Sweet.
Okay. There you go.
All right.
Yes, that's a goal of mine. Ryan loves it. Ryan is all about it. It's great for the fans. The fans love it. It's hard to find them.
Yeah.
But we'll have it. We'll have one at least. Honestly, booking a heavyweight fight is for guys is just as hard as booking a women's fight at any weight.
Yeah.
So
I was looking at some of your weights there. I think that you got listed on your card, and again, you're right. I mean,
it's all 155, 160, 170, 135. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a guy on there 200.
Yes. Yeah. 200 and 215. Yeah.
But that's not really heavyweight.
No.
I mean, that's.
I think 265.
Yeah, 265, 270. Some Frank Mears and some
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar of the world. And there's some. I know 100%. There's some guy right now putting up hay in a barn.
Oh, that would be incredible.
That would be a fabulous 280-pound fighter.
Yes.
We just
Country Strong is the best strong when it comes to this kind of stuff.
And again, we don't have to see knockouts in the first 2 burly men just taking their dear sweet time to get through 3 rounds.
That's what you're going to get with this Davis versus Gibson, Cabe Davis and Chance Gibson. That's the JEA fight that I was talking about. That's a boxing match. They're just going to come out and start swinging, truly. Chance has been working with Ryan Collins a little bit, hitting the mitts here and there. But I asked Cabe, how have you been training? He's like, a couple weeks. He's hitting a bag and stuff. He's like, we're just going to go out there and see what happens. So that one's going to be the 2 big guys, 215, 200. That one's going to be the one where, you're going to see some haymakers being thrown, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have that. It's just, maybe a little less technical than the training guys have, but sometimes it's just more fun to have some things like that on the card, though.
Write this down. Owens, bare knuckle sandwiches. So that's a last name, and they texted back. So congratulations.
Got it.
Two tickets for tonight's fight.
Perfect.
Those will be at the will call, and for you at the fight tonight.
Cool.
Make sure you get there early, and I'll have to find out those other names if we have them.
Yeah.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
At the station, but man, very excited, super excited. One, to get you here finally.
Yeah.
And our plan is to do this every fight.
Love it.
And continue to promote Hub City MMA, and of course the Hub City Sports Network is kind of less than what it used to be, but now it's part of Fox Sports and Talking Sports West Tennessee. So it's actually grown and it has the ability to reach more people. So very excited about that. But the Hub City MMA guys get behind this. They also put on that black tie boxing night that we'll see in January.
Yep.
And going to be a very exciting night tonight on Fight Night 11. A huge card, and almost a fight in the crowd was it not last time, but the time before, I think.
Probably.
I think it was that Fight Night 9
probably.
that I saw. There was
people get a little wild every now and then. Yeah.
Somebody spouted off at, I don't know what they were talking about, but said, well, we'll take it right here.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, guys, hold on now. Because I had my camera set up and they were right behind me, and I'm like, can y'all just keep it down?
Yeah.
But it's, hey, when you're excited about the fight and you're excited about the fighters, and somebody else calls your fighter sucky, then it is what it is.
Yep.
So, anything else about tonight we need to know?
No, I mean, just show up and have a lot of fun. If you're not going to show up, buy the pay-per-view, and we'll see how tonight goes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Congratulations on another successful card, because this one's going to be really good.
Yep.
And a lot of names, as you said, some guys from Mississippi and Kentucky, and we got a lot of regional action in MMA, and some really good individuals and clubs, organizations that fight these gyms and their programs, like Aero Athletics and whatnot. And so very, very cool that we continue to watch this. Now, not jumping we got the Black Tie Boxing, which is not Fight Night 12.
Nope.
So Fight Night 12
June
will be June.
Yep.
Okay. So other than this tonight,
this is the last card of the year.
Last card of the year.
Yeah.
We got January 10th.
Yeah.
Black Tie Boxing.
Yeah.
But it will be almost. I mean, we're looking at 8
almost
months
6
before the next.
before the next fight night.
Fight night. So make sure you get out and watch this one.
Yeah.
And then always a good night at Black Tie Boxing.
Oh,
a huge event. I mean, that's and what that goes for is a great cause. So you'll have a little opportunity. Just won't be as.
Won't be the Hub City Fight Night.
Hub City Fight Night,
Yeah.
like we're used to seeing. But yeah, so a little time in between the fight nights here, but excited about where this is continuing to grow and go with. Guys, just come out tonight.
Yep.
That's all I can say. Come out tonight and watch the fights. With the girls from Aero competing in Argentina, will they have the little side show?
I'm not sure. Normally they do. They have it all set up. We were at the fairgrounds earlier. Nothing's been set up yet, so I'm not sure with their stuff. The cage is already set up, but so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Normally we get to see little
aerial stuff and thing.
that happens kind of pre-fights there. But those young ladies are in Argentina.
Amazing.
And 2 of them have already podiumed.
Wow.
Bronze medalist for the World Games.
That's incredible.
They're coming back right here to Jackson, Tennessee with bronze.
That's awesome.
Medallions for Team USA.
Heck yeah.
How cool is that?
That's incredible.
And some of those girls were on the hoops and things that they did last year at Fight Night. I say last year, the last Fight Night, Fight Night 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really cool to watch that.
Super cool.
And so it's not just a fight, but there's a lot of entertainment, food, beverages, all kinds of things, merch for sale.
Yeah.
And so come out tonight, big night, Fight Night 11, Fairgrounds. Doors open 5:30.
5:30.
Fights start officially at
6:30.
6:30. How much to get in?
I think it's like $40 for a GA ticket.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
$65 and you get a seat. So
yeah, I mean that's super cheap for I mean, if I go over here to Texas Roadhouse, I'm spending. Me and my wife spending $65 on a meal.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's a cheap night of entertainment here in Jackson.
Yeah.
Come on out and enjoy the fights. We are going to continue with football action. Guys, it's been a great morning already. Really appreciate Brandon coming in this morning and talking about MMA.
One more thing. Ryan just blew up my phone. The after party for tonight.
Oh.
Yes. It's at the Downtown Tavern.
Okay.
So same person that owns Caddies owns Downtown Tavern. So after the fight tonight, you can go over to Downtown Tavern, hang out. I'm sure fighters will be there. I'm sure you can hang out with some people and have food and drinks and those kind of things as well. So make sure to go to Downtown Tavern. Shout out to them for being our after party sponsor. And yeah, that'll be a lot of fun as well too.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. And so we're going to get into we got limited time left because the morning has been action packed. State championship golfer and great conversation with Tori Robinson. Congratulations to her and TCA on that accomplishment. We've had Coach Andrew Hicks in from Madison Academic on basketball, men's and women's side, talking about that this morning. Big shout out to Jen Hicks, who was home watching the kids, but the women's coach there, and then Brandon Anderson. We've had a great morning already. We'll wrap things up here the last, let's say, 35 minutes of football talk because we got some really kind of interesting numbers to share. The last week is going to be epic here in West Tennessee. Undefeated teams went down last night. Big action next week on the gridiron, mostly on Thursday night. We're going to wrap that up when we come back from our last break right here, Sports Talk Live with the coach. Brandon Anderson, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you.
me, sir.
Knuckle Sandwich, make sure you follow them on all their socials as well as Hub City MMA. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Hey there, you pizza lovers. When it comes to the perfect pizza, Jet's Pizza is in a league of their own. Our dough is made fresh every morning, hand-pressed with care, and baked to absolute perfection. We believe in the art of crafting pizza, slicing veggies by hand, and mixing ripe tomatoes with a blend of tantalizing spices. You haven't experienced pizza until you've tried our famous Detroit-style deep dish pizza. With 2 locations in Jackson, call 731-300-7992 to get your Jet's Pizza now. We're also looking for delivery drivers with flexible schedules. Join our team and spread joy with every delicious delivery. Jet's Pizza in Jackson.
All the recent weather events has me wondering of ways to protect my home and my family in the event of an emergency or power outage. I can't imagine being without power.
At Lindsay Electric, family means everything. A generator installed by the factory-trained team at Lindsay Electric is the best solution for your family in any emergency.
So what's my next move?
Call Lindsay Electric today for a free consultation at 731-423-1580.
Hi, I'm Kobe Lindsay. At Lindsay Electric, it's not just a generator, it's a power move.
Is it a coincidence that the Titans play in the American Football Conference and there's an American Motors location on North Highland in Jackson? We think not. With a vast selection of off-road vehicles and street machines to fit every budget and lifestyle. There may be pressure on the field, but you will never be pressured at American Motors on North Highland in Jackson. Call 554-5000. Visit AmericanMotorsOfJackson.com. American Motors. Shop local, buy American, and go Titans.
Now open Tai Chi Bubble Tea, a new restaurant experience in Jackson with an inviting ambience like no other. You can enjoy a comfortable, family-friendly atmosphere while going through Tai Chi's extensive drink menu and deciding between their sushi menu, Tai Chi rice box, or ramen menu. You're invited to come see for yourself so you can tell all your friends and come back for more. Come and experience Tai Chi Bubble Tea, Jackson's newest place to meet and greet. 8th Stonebridge, down from Aldi.
Let me turn the volume on. Welcome back, Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here. Caddy Sports Club has now joined forces with Sports 731 Sports Bar and Grill. And 731 Sports Bar and Grill has taken over the menu here at Caddy's, along with a lot of other things, but the menu may be what is most important. Because now you can get the Southern Fried Catfish anytime you want it. You can get the fried pickle chips. You can get the Smashville fries or the mozzarella sticks, which are fabulous. You can get wings, boneless and traditional, along with a choice of salads and all kinds of burgers. One of my favorite that's from here is that po' boy sandwich, and one of the best in and around the region. And so make sure you get over here at Caddy's and Sports 731 as they are now combined here. You can get all of your goodies right here at Caddy's Sports Club from Sports 731 Bar and Grill. Hey, what a show already this morning. What a fabulous lineup that was booked for us today. And, state championship golfer and Tori Robinson and her dad, Coach Robinson, coming in and talking about TCA and her experience at the state tournament this year. Congratulations to her. Big shout out. What a feat. What an accomplishment. And then also setting the state record. The only thing that I am disappointed in is that we did not have a bay set up for her to hit when she was here and really help us get our swing fixed. We may have to have her back and have a long drive competition because she says she averages 260 yards on her drive, and that might be more than my average on my drive as well. So, you know what? I play golf because I like to make my friends laugh, and that's what I do. So it is what it is. Hey, Andrew Hicks, after that, the head coach of the men's program over at Madison Academic Magnet High School, Jackson Madison County School System, and Madison, was in today to talk about basketball. And then just on the air, Brandon Anderson from Knuckle Sandwich night right here in Jackson, Tennessee at the fairground. Lane Rowe, the prodigy, turning pro debut, and also now moving up to the pro ranks, and he'll be at the fight tonight. We'll try to get a word with him as we bring you the preview interviews right here live from Talking Sports West Tennessee, Jackson and West Tennessee's Fox Sport affiliate. And congratulations to the Owens for winning those tickets here on the show today. And those tickets will be at will call for you. Hey, we're going to run down the last basically 30 minutes of the show here today. We're going to run down last night's scores, look at those region standings, and start talking about somebody sitting at home next week. Not next week, the week after for the playoffs, because region action heated up last night. Some big competition on the gridiron, and let's kind of get into the scores. Let's run the scores down first, and then we'll look at a couple of those regions. Hollow Rock Brewston 10, McEwen 8, 6-3 on the season now. Hollow Rock Brewston gets a win in the region, a huge win for them. McKenzie 8-1 on the season, a 41-0 victory over Wayne County. Pearl Cone gets the victory 47-0 over White House. Collinwood 32, Perry County 14. Ravenwood finishes this past week at 9-0, 42-7 win over Coffee County. Camden Central gets the win over Stewart County 51-29. Sycamore and White House Heritage tied one on last night for senior night. Sycamore gets the win on senior night 16-13. A little closer to home, Whitehaven 35, Bartlett 0. Bolivar Central senior night, they get the 14-0 win over Loreto. Bolivar Central now 4-5 on the season. Dixon County, Clarksville Northeast 17-13 in favor of Dixon County. Kirkwood gets the 35-0 victory over Northwest Clarksville. Cordova loses to Collierville 58-0. Covington 9-0 on the season. The showdown with Westview next week, also 9-0 on the season. Covington beats McNary Central 62-0, and Westview beats Dyersburg 65-30. We are going to be privileged to watch a fabulous football game next Thursday night in Martin, Tennessee, as the Chargers travel to Westview to take on the Chargers. What a game that's going to be next Thursday night. Crockett County 7-2 on the season gets the Region 7 4A victory over Chester County 41-7. Dresden beats South Fulton 51-14. Dyer County beats Southside 63-14. Halls beats Gibson County, gets that region win 59-7. Greenfield beats Lake County 26-21. Lexington 35, Hardin County 7. Henry County over Kenwood 45-7. Humboldt 24, Gleason 22. Let me repeat that. Humboldt 24, Gleason 22. Huntington 40, Peabody 21. I believe this game was tied at the half at 21 all. Huntington comes out in the second half, puts up 19 points, I guess, and they dominate Peabody in the second half, 40-21 at Huntington. Jackson Central Mary, 40-13 over Union City. Winner of that game probably makes the playoffs. I'm not sure if there's a scenario. We'll have to look at it. In a game I'm not sure anybody thought about at the beginning of the season, but South Gibson now 6-3 on the season. They beat Northside last night 49-31. 49-31. We'll have to see if Northside will make the playoffs. We'll look at that region in just a second. Obion County 21, Ripley 7, Liberty 5-4. After going 0-65, they will now complete this season at least 500 or better for the first time in 7 years. They beat West Carroll last night 28-12. What a turnaround for Liberty. Haywood 65, Ridgeway 12. Melrose 52, Raleigh Egypt 0. Middle College, we'll see this Middle College team potentially taking on JCM in the playoffs, potentially 50-0 over Westwood. Middle College now 7-1. Mumford 29, Germantown 24. What a game that was in Mumford last night. Mumford finishes up 9-0 on the season. I say finishes up. They got one game left. Southwind also 9-0, 48-15 victory over Pure Academy. Arlington 16 and White Station 6. In the ranks of Division II, Jackson Christian gets a 38-13 victory over FACS. Harding Academy wins over Fayette Academy 35-0. Trinity Christian 42, DCA 7. Trinity Christian now 7-2 on the season. USJ, and one that's probably tighter than most people anticipated, gets the 17-7 victory over USJ. Oklahoma and Ole Miss on ESPN. It's a tied ball game, 3-3 in the first half. Let's start looking at this region. Let's look at Division II first as we look at region play for our Division II teams in West Tennessee. And University School Jackson sitting at 5-0 in the region. They're 8-1 on the season. Jackson Christian 4-1 in the region. They're 8-1 on the season. And Trinity Christian at 7-2 on the season, also 4-1 in the region. Trinity Christian has the 31-28 victory over Jackson Christian. So right now, even though the tie for second place, the region head-to-head would go to TCA. Tipton Rosemark at 3-2 follows up in the fourth spot, and Harding Academy is 2-4. They will finish in that fourth spot, they will have no chance. Harding Academy is out of the playoffs. Tipton Rosemark will have that fourth spot. We'll have to see as USJ and JCS will take on each other October 31st, and that's where we'll be, October 31st on the sideline, bringing you action from USJ, Carlock Stadium, Kirkland Field, the home of the Bruins. Will be there for that action Friday night. As they always say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. And let's look at the race in Single A right here in Region 7, our local region. Dresden sitting at 5-0. They're 7-2 on the season. Right now, they are in the driver's seat, and they are region champs. I don't think there's anybody that can beat them that's left on the card. And, in fact, I think they are done. No, they have Lake County. Excuse me. Lake County left to play. They could end up at 5-1, but nobody else will end up with 5 wins. So Dresden is your Region 7 Class 1A champs right now. Greenfield, South Fulton both sit at 3-2 in the region. And Humboldt sitting at 3-3 in 4th spot. So there's a fight right now for that second place. Now, if Lake County beats Dresden next week, that's a Thursday game. If Lake County beats Dresden, Lake County will be 3-3 in the region, and they will have head-to-head wins over West Carroll and South Fulton. It looks like if they end up 3-3, Humboldt will still jump Lake County in that particular region. To me, the way it looks, and I'm just looking at a computer screen right now, the way it looks, Humboldt has made the playoffs. They have the head-to-head win over No, they do not have the head-to-head. Yes, they do. The head-to-head win over Gleason, which they won last night, 24-22. So that win right there, I think, secured them the 4th spot. Humboldt, to me, appears to be in the playoffs. It's a fight for 2nd and 3rd place, maybe between Greenfield and South Fulton, and then Dresden sitting there at 5-0 in the driver's seat for the region championship for Region 7 Class 1A. Let's now look at Region 7 2A, because the man himself just came in the door. We're going to cut to this camera view. Coach Eric Turner, good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I am doing fantabulous, and I didn't win a ball game last night. The Cougars did, taking care of Union City at home, senior night. What a big night for the Cougars. Big region win, playing at the Hub City Central. And right now, you got to win next week. I don't know what the bracket looks like. I'm just getting ready to get into 2A, but taking this step over Union City should solidify you guys a 4th spot finish in Region 2A.
Yes, sir. That's what that's what we know. Our destiny was in our hand. So we just have to go out and put together a good performance so we can get to this postseason.
Talk about the play of your team last night. Quarterback seemed a little off. Some throws that maybe were seemed to me he was taking some extra time trying to make the right read. The pocket maybe collapsed a little bit at some times, but and then some throws behind some intended receivers. But it was really the running game that set the tempo for the Cougars last night. Talk about your offense last night.
Yeah, the offensive line, man, it's senior heavy. We led by 3 seniors up front: Joe Northern, Bradley Beasley, and Braylon Henney. They set the tempo for the game. I think the offense it was pretty even last night. We were able to throw the ball and run the ball last night. And anytime that you're able to be balanced, it makes the other phase of the ball, phase of the game, a little easier. So the offense, they came out and they put up some points last night. And the defense, of course, they played well too. They got stops. They turned them over, and it was a complete game. Offense and defense, they complemented each other last night.
Yeah, most definitely. We've talked about this probably for 2 years now, but a man among boys and Eckford out there. He got in the backfield and disrupted a lot of plays last night. Some from the outside linebacker position or DN position, maybe some from an inside linebacker position as he slid over and blitzed the A gap. But he was all over the floor, all over the field, defensively. We'll talk about basketball in Eckford in a couple weeks, not just yet. But I mean, he really set a tone for the defense, and then your corners did a really good job on shutting down the passing game as Union City fell behind early and they had to start throwing the ball a lot more. Corners really shut everybody down and kept the Tornadoes off the scoreboard.
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, Eckford, he's one of those guys. His skill set, you can put him in multiple places on the field and he'll be effective. You can put him in the secondary too, and he'll be just as effective there because of his athleticism. But in the corners, like they made plays on balls in the air. They made plays in the running game as well as some of those plays got outside. So it was just, like I said, a complete team effort last night for their win.
Yeah. So now in this region, Class 2A, Region 7 Class 2A classification here, Milan, they sit at 5-0 in the region. They still have to play Peabody next week. That game has been moved to Thursday. I think everybody in the state now has, thrown a conniption fit because that was about one of the only good games left on Friday. USJ, JCS will play on Friday because Westview and Covington, they had already moved their game up a couple weeks ago to Thursday night, and so everybody was looking at that game as one to go watch. And if I'm a coach, I don't want everybody in the world to come watch me on the last night of the season, I guess. But it is what it is. And so they're 5-0 in the region. Huntington getting the big win over Peabody last night, 40-21. They find themselves sitting head-to-head win in second place. Peabody falls to third place. And then you guys are sitting there at the fourth position. Union City at this point, the win last night solidifies that for you guys. You guys will go to Halls next week, not looking ahead to the playoffs, but is it Memphis Business that sits in the one spot on that side of the region right now?
I think it's Fairleigh.
Fairleigh, okay.
I think Fairleigh beat Memphis Business early in the season, I think, in a close one.
Yeah, and it may be Fairleigh is 7-2 on the season, and Memphis Business I think is maybe 6-3. So how do you keep your team focused next week to not allow Halls to, it's one of those things where could it be that trap game, because you're looking ahead to the playoffs, and I know you preach staying focused and one game at a time. But we're also talking to 15, 16, 17-year-old kids who now just found out last night they're in the playoffs, and that's a reality for them. How do you keep your team focused?
I think starting 1-5 will keep us focused. That feeling of lessons is what we call them. Those feelings of lessons, they don't feel good, and we have momentum now, and we got energy now. So I think the slow start to the season will keep us motivated and just give them a reminder of how they felt. 1-5, being counted out. I think it gives them a motivation to come in and finish the season strong.
Yeah, 100%. That experience. That experience is one of those things that you can't simulate in practice, right? And so they kind of, after last season, very high, kind of getting back to some reality and some low points early on, now getting into some rhythm here. It looks like that Fairleigh is 6-0 in the region right now. They have one game left against Mace, and then Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, also 5-1. Or is 5-1. So that game will come down to whoever wins that one will finish top over there. Looking at Mace, saw them scrimmage Northside in the year, at the beginning of the year, and the talent they have on the field. If you had to pick, is there one of these two teams you feel you match up better against? Probably there's no way that Memphis Business, I don't know why I was saying that, no way for them to be finished first, so it'd be Mace or Fairleigh.
To be honest, I don't know which one of them we will match up the best with. I seen some of the scrimmage of Mace and the North Side at the beginning, but I hadn't really been paying attention to either one of those teams. I've just been locked in and focused on us. So I know whichever one we're facing, it's going to be tough because I know both of those, they got a rich history. They have athletes. I've known the name slips my mind, but the coach at Mace, we kind of kept in touch since our second season. We played them. Ironically, they were on the schedule. I scheduled them. I was trying to schedule a good game because that was our first year of the independent, and I forget which school in Memphis shut down, and then he moved there, and his dudes moved with him, and that wasn't the game that I intended to put on the schedule. And those dudes rode in, and man, he had some monsters out there. And like I said, that was our second season in, and they put it on us pretty good. That game out at Southside, but like I said, I don't know which one we match up best with. I just know whoever we match up with, we're gonna go out and we're gonna play ball.
Looking at their season in their region, both of these teams can put up points.
Oh yeah,
they've got an offense, and I don't know if they don't have a defense or if they're maybe they find themselves in a running clock situation more than they should. But they're not allowing a lot of points, but I'm not sure that they've played teams at the caliber of defense that the Cougars are going to come in with. And you can say, well, they're playing each other. Well, they are the last game of the season, so we're going to see whose defense is really going to stand out here this next week. That game also on October 30th. You guys will be playing a game, so I'll probably try to find this on a stream somewhere and watch it for you, give you a complete breakdown by the end of the night. So.
I appreciate that.
At what point do the high schools start acting like the colleges and start sending out the crews to not necessarily going to the stadium, but to the film sessions and watching these games and going, I need a complete left and right tutorial of what they run, first down, second down, third. At some point, you got to have the advantage, and when you're coaching, you don't have an advantage. You don't have a time to watch the film, right? It's tough. But this going to come down to this last game of the season. But that's what's really made this year exciting, I think, across West Tennessee, is that not one team really ran away with it, in the early part of the region schedule, that the last night of the season is going to put somebody in first place, or maybe put somebody in the recliner the next week.
Right.
And our parity of teams this year in football has been really awesome to watch. And we've been, even last night, you guys run away with it in the second half and put up a big number on Union City. You just were in the better spot defensively. You had more dogs on your side than they did, and really just shut them down. But they've got some electric guys on that team for Union City.
They do. Their quarterback, he runs good. He got out on us on that pass on one of those passes, and he made some guys miss, and he got it in the end zone. So the guys like that, you just got to bottle them up and you got to keep the ball out of their hands.
Right.
And then when they do get it in their hands, you got to make sure that you got more than one hat to the ball, because they got some athletes they can so they get in space, they can go.
Knowing that Union City runs such a unique offense and that double wing formation that they run, always movement and motion in the backfield, some trickery trying to get you to go one way and overplay with the defense and stuff. How do you feel? Because I'm not sure that you'll see as much of that moving down the road. How, as a coach, how do you kind of prepared for that, knowing that that may be the only game on your schedule that's going to really be like that? Now, Huntington runs some wing as well, but a little bit different than the way Union City runs it. You know, do you feel sometimes like, hey, I'd rather not have somebody like that on my schedule because I'm never going to see that in the playoffs? Or, hey, we better be prepared for all things?
Right. I mean, be prepared for all things. It's difficult to defend. Of course, you'd rather come out and defend somebody's 4 wide and run spread is easy. But, you know, not saying it's easy, but, you know, it's easier to kind of scheme. But, I mean, we have the ability to adjust. I mean, you got to be disciplined to play against those teams. And like I said, at the end of the day, you got to know the blocking scheme. If I read my key, no matter what offense you're playing, if I read my keys, it's going to put you in the right place to make a play or prevent a play from being made. So I think they're in our region, so we have to have them on the schedule just like the Huntingtons of the world. And that's why, like I said, teams like that, they get in the playoffs. They have a lot of success because of the unorthodox offenses they run, because it's really not seen now because a lot of people move to the pro or the spread offense. But like I said, they're on the schedule. So, I mean, we just prepare them, our defensive guys, just to be disciplined, read the keys, and do their job. So, you know, that's all we can do.
Yeah, and again, very, very rarely do we see a team that goes away from their bread and butter, especially when they get into the playoffs. But you know, a team like a Mace, you know, they could very easily come out in a wing formation with some of their talent they have and say, hey, you know, you didn't defend it very well, so we're going to put it in and we're going to run it. The good news for you guys, you defended it very well last night. And, you know, a quarterback, he made some big runs, a couple big throws, but in the end, you know, 40-12 ball game for the Cougars. I thought the defensive side was a high point for the Cougars last night because one can go. He's got a motor. 2 got a motor. Number 7 got a motor. Number 16. They got some players over there. And, you know, I think as a coach, for me as a coach, if I'm looking at that, I'm going, man, one of these 4 guys could beat us very easily. Which one are we going to put our eggs in that basket and stop? Because this one kind of has the most potential to beat us. But I thought again last night that you guys really, as a team, put up one of the best defensive performances maybe all season, other than maybe that Milan game.
Yeah, I mean, they played well. Like I said, it took us defense a while. We got a new DC this year. Kind of get adjusted. Everybody, you have to learn terminologies and different things and trying to merge from last year to this year. Been some players shuffling. We had some in and out injuries at the beginning of the season. So it's been a process on both sides of the ball. But like I said, our team could have easily folded and, you know, just threw the towel in. But they kept whatever we asked them to do. They did it, and they've learned, and we've adjusted, and you know we put it together right now. We're getting kind of used to each other in the changes that has happened this season. So and they played, like I said, lights out. They goal line, had them in the red zone, didn't let them get in. They played. They made some big plays, and like I said, they swarm to the ball, and they're gonna hit you.
Yeah,
so
I think 3 or maybe even 4 turnovers on downs for Union City because of that defense. I mean, when you have that many in a game, that's huge.
It is. I mean, you win. I mean, it's not a takeaway per se, but a turnover on downs is a turnover. Yeah. So that counts. And then we had a couple of turnovers. Had one late in the game, third quarter, I believe. We had a turnover. So they took the ball away and they controlled the line of scrimmage. That's the main thing, especially against those teams like that. So they did that, play tough, play fast, and they put together a good performance last night.
Moving on to Halls next week. Halls gets the win last night over Gibson County. so that they're experiencing some success this week as well. What do you feel that game is going to come down to? Hall's, they've got some players and some playmakers, but how do you feel your team stacks up against Hall's this week?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a tough game. Reason opponent last game. Nobody wants to go out and lose the last game of the season. I go back to I don't even know Hall's their record, but I go back to our first season playing region play. We ended 2-8. We won the first one and the last one, and we were and that helped propel us into the previous season. So every win matters. So we can't go in with the mindset that they're not going to play hard, or we can just show up and win. It's not going to happen, because they're going to come out and they're going to throw everything they got at us, and we got to understand that, and we got to be ready to come in and defend and be locked in and focused and stay in playoff mode.
Yeah, at this point, again, it's playoff mode every week, right? And so all the way to the end. Your team last night, heard some guys talking about it. They're like, hey, the season is not over for us. We have to go out next week and perform. We have to then be ready for the next week. So the mentality of, as you said, it would have been very easy for, losing the first 2 or 3 games of the season to just pack your bags up and say, okay, well, we're not gonna be successful this year, whether we win a game or not. It is what it is. But to come out and be in that dogfight each and every week, and to fight back, and now to get on this 3-game win streak here at the end of the season, in which your defense has really faced a couple teams. Again, that Liberty team's got some ballers on the offensive side,
right?
Some real ballers.
Some athletes over there.
At Union City, those guys are some dudes over there, and to come out and to allow 13 points in the last 3 ball games is really starting to set a tone for your team. Talk to us about the special teams play last night. You guys don't really kick the ball deep on a kickoff, but your extra point kicker is solid. Happens to be the same person. But what is the philosophy for you guys, knowing that we're not going to put it inside the end zone? Other teams are not going to start at the 20 on every play from us. What is your philosophy on the kickoff coverage team to make sure that you don't give up that big run on a?
I understand that it's important, and it's 100%. It's an important part of the game: offense, defense, special teams. So we encourage them and we motivate them to go down there and go down there and hit somebody. And we may do it may be unconventional at the midpoint of the season, but we do some live. We still do a little live drills, so to get them to understand the importance of, you got to come down, you got to hit somebody.
Yeah.
And like I said, our kicker, he's 10 weeks in. He said he came out. He's been a tremendous help to us. He came out a few weeks before the season started, and he's getting better and better every week. So it's just a mentality of each group, and letting them understand that they are important, and your job is important. Anytime that you step on the field, your job is important. So you got to do your job to the best of your ability, and it matters.
Yeah. Yeah, and giving a little love to the kicker there. Sometimes those are the underrated players that we don't talk about on the show. I thought, of course, you guys did get that one kickoff from like the opponent's 20. I think it was the 45, but he put that one into the end zone.
Right.
But you're preaching this, hey, let's go hit somebody, let's cover, stay in our lanes type thing. And so even if you do squib it down the field, or a couple times last night, they got the ball at the 35, and at that point they got some wiggle room to make something happen. And again, number 1 and number 7 and number 2 in the backfield returning these kicks. These are guys that could take it to the house in a heartbeat. But very rarely, and I'm not sure at all, did they ever start beyond the 45 last night. And so a big shout out to your special teams. Just a really all-around big game last night. Hall's next week for most likely be heading to Memphis to either play the winner of Fairleigh or the Mace game. And this looks like it will come down to it there. Man, we wish you much success as we kind of wrap up the show here today. We've had a big day and a great way to close it out here as we talk about Cougars getting into the playoffs and potentially having another opportunity to make a run at a state championship. If you're sitting at the house in the recliner, you can't do anything about it. But if you're playing, you have an opportunity.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you just want to be peaking at the right time. Want to have confidence at the right time, and the mindset going into the playoffs is huge. I know our season it kind of we started out last year 6-0, and then we got a win streak going in. And last year we was in the same position. We had to win against Riverside to get in.
Yeah.
So we've been there before. Like I said, it didn't start how we wanted it to, but I think everything that happened in the beginning of the season was needed for the end of the season and for us to make this playoff push.
Yeah. And you look at this, we talk about your defense kind of peaking, but when you look at the last the two previous games before the Gibson County, Huntington and Milan, not very many teams only allowed Milan to score 21 points this year. Not very many teams, including Peabody, allowed Huntington to score only 27. I mean, Peabody, really good program this year. Tav Val, who you know very well, got them back playing really good football, and they give up 40 last night to a Huntington team, 19 in the second half to lose that ball game. And so you guys, hold these two teams under their average. So even though you take those two losses against potentially the number 1 and 2 teams in that region, your defense still bowing up. And again, both of those games were just kind of a yellow hanky or a bounced ball one way or the other of being in potentially a different ball game, especially that Milan game where you had scored and that one got called back. Completely different ball game if that touchdown stands. So really peaking even against the high caliber teams of this region, which is going to set you up even more for the playoffs, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Like I said, defense they play well, and we, like I said, after some of those losses, we just cut the film on and show. And like I said, not taking anything away from any of the teams that we played, but we showed them a lot of the things that were errors on our end. They capitalized on them, of course, but mental errors, pre-snap errors, the things that we could control that we did in the game, and if we clean it up, we'll be a lot better team, and we trying to clean up those pre-snap mental errors, and whether it's a penalty or a missed assignment, and if we knew if we do that, we'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, hard to beat. I think right now the Cougars are a very dangerous team, offensively and defensively, and for a team like Mace and Fairleigh, it could be a trap game for either one of those teams that are potentially looking ahead to the playoffs, going, hey, we've got this wrapped up. Who do we want to play? I mean, at this point, do I want to play a Cougar team that's peaking with the dogs they've got, or do I want to take a chance on a Peabody or a Huntington team, that's going to end up in second or third place, that potentially could be theirs. So, it could be an interesting night in Memphis next week. And if they're looking ahead at either one of these teams, I think there's an easy opportunity for this region to potentially sweep. It's a tall task, but I think it's an easy opportunity, or could be an easy thing for us, all four of these teams, to go to Memphis, or these Memphis teams to come here and potentially sweep. And dare I, last night, Cougars taking care of business on the Hub City Central Field there at JCM, and getting the big win on senior night. Congratulations, Coach, on that. And then we wish you much success this week against Halls. It's going to be a cat fight, one way or the other. And we're excited to see the Cougars back in the playoffs and what this team could do. Big news on the show today as we close out here now at 12 o'clock. State championship and state record-setting Tori Robinson in golf came in this morning. Had her on the show. Congratulations to her, as always. A huge success on closing out her senior year and getting ready for college golf.
What school?
TCA.
Okay.
TCA. She drives the ball 260 yards.
It sounds, I don't know a lot about golf, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah. You know something about yardage.
Yes, sir.
And a football field is 100 yards, and that's a long way.
It's a long way.
And if you can hit that golf ball, almost 3 of them, that's a long way.
It is.
That's
and be accurate.
She goes out and shoots a 12 under for the 2-round tournament, sets a state record, wins state championship. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, young lady.
Big shout out. Then we got Hub City MMA in action tonight. MMA action in Jackson, Tennessee at the fairgrounds. Going to be an exciting night of fights.
The MMA is rough. I couldn't do it.
And 2 semi-pro, but guys that have had experience in professional kickboxing are making their MMA debut tonight. So it could be a kick fest in that ring during that particular fight.
That's a battle I wouldn't want to.
Nah,
I'm not stepping in that ring.
Nope. Nobody's kicking me in the head.
No.
Had that happen too much on the football field. Crazy. And I hope the young man last night, I think there at the end of the game, official was motioning to to his head that looked like one of Union City's might have got hit on a play, and no ill intent or anything, but just a play. We saw his helmet come off and him go to the ground and looked like he might have even tried to throw up. So we hope that he's okay. And I don't know what that young man's name is, but our prayers go out to him.
Yes, sir, definitely.
I hope that he's fine. So Brandon Anderson of Knuckle Sandwich and Hub City MMA, and then Coach Hicks from Madison in today to talk about basketball. But
I thought you were about to say Coach Hicks is going to be in the MMA tonight.
I would pay a lot of money to watch that one now.
Hey, if Coach was going in there, I was going to watch.
That's it. I mean, definitely. I'm going to be there. So that would have been a show for the ages right there. But I'm going to give this last shout out before we close out here. So those of you that are listening and have been listening this morning, right here from Jackson, Tennessee, born and raised. And the playground is where they spent most of their days swinging from the hoop, not the basketball hoop, that is. I'm not the Fresh Prince, but it sounded good. We have world bronze medalist for Team USA that will come back to Jackson, Tennessee after this weekend. World bronze medalist. Yeah. Kylie Cartwright and Sophia Quinteros from Aero Athletics from Team USA right here in Jackson, Tennessee. Huge shout out to those young ladies going to Argentina, competing against 40 nations, coming back third. There's 4 people in the world better than them right now in their skill. 4 people better than those 2 young ladies. They come back with bronze, world gold medals. Yeah. Congratulations to them and Team USA. Big shout out. Guys, it's been a fabulous show as always. The links are starting to heat up over here as you hear the crashing of the ball from the tee box. Right now, Ole Miss has a 12-10 lead over Oklahoma. Does Lane Kiffin go to Florida? Have you been keeping up with the firing and hirings of?
Who knows about Lane? Lane might pull something out of left field, and he might be somewhere nobody didn't even expect.
You're 100%.
He might end up at who was that? Penn State?
Yeah.
Yeah, he may end up at Penn State. Who knows? Lane Kiffin is a different cat, but he's a good football coach.
Yeah, good football coach. Brilliant offensive mind.
He is.
And
I try to watch some of his stuff and kind of steal.
Yeah.
On side.
He can do some things or get his team to do some things on the field that you just like. How did that happen? You know, I mean,
kind of taboo talking about Lane after how he left us high and dry.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, but he's you can't take away from his football mind.
That's it, guys. It's been a great show. Congratulations, Team USA. Congratulations, Tori Robinson, all champions in the book today. Congratulations to the Cougars for their big win last night, putting them into the playoffs. We'll see them for a couple more weeks to come. And good luck next week. Guys, it's been a great show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you right here next week on Sports Talk Live with the coach.